viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing, bitches banging, 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 banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, 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 bitch, nigga, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, about to have me some Duckton. What the f? What the heck? What did he go? I had my mouth. What the f?
He's sleeping now. Because they want to get him good and strong. So a little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
I'm tired of being quiet.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
So for the generation that is born right after the crisis, we call them the prophet archetype, and that would be, for instance, boomers, but we've had many other examples. Indulgently raised in a very secure era, they come of age during these times of spiritual awakening, a lot of protest, a lot of social divisions, and they break through. They try to, they want to individualize the country. They want to free individuals from the sort of tyranny of the collective.
Give a fuck. 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 Like Tupac, nigga, give a fuck. Everybody wanna ride for it with no car. Make a lot of money. a fuck. I'ma get more money, more, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Like too short, nigga, I don't give a fuck. You can fuck my bitch, I don't give a fuck. I can get another one, I'm rich and I don't give a fuck. Tell them I don't give a fuck. Beat it with the microphone, I'm a flame spitter. Was a peacemaker, now a menace like the cane, nigga. Haters and you homo thugs, fucking up the game, nigga. We were never in the same class, you a lame, nigga. I don't got time to be dissing a nigga who ain't worth a penny, cause mentally I'm too above for dissing the fake. On top of that, I'm a player, the player hating that's never been in my blood, nigga. That's ammunition for hate. If I call up the cavalry, it'll be a fatality. One phone call, they'll be minutes away. Better make peace with your creator, cause on the cool, I don't think you wanna perish a cent of the day. No. Money on the mind, vision on the prize. Look into my eyes, you will see the devil is alive. Real warriors of God live eternally, and if you know the definition, baby, I will never die. Finally got the key of life. If you listen to my new shit, I got the blueprint to set the street afire. The majority of niggas in the game ain't fucking with the method of business that we apply. I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Like Tupac, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Niggas hating on the low, I don't give a fuck. I'ma get more money, more, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Like too short, nigga, I don't give a fuck. You can fuck my bitch, I don't give a fuck. I can get another one, I'm rich and I don't give a fuck. Tell them I don't give a fuck. Beat it with the microphone, I'm a flame spitter. Haters and you homo thugs, fucking up the game, nigga. You a lame, nigga. Give a fuck, give a fuck, give a fuck, give a fuck. Give a fuck, give a fuck. Give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, give a fuck. Give a fuck, you can fuck my bitch, I don't give a fuck. I can get another one, I'm rich and I don't give a fuck. Tell them I don't give a fuck, give a fuck.
Bless, Leif, Clems. Cat in the building with the tape fist tight. Ricardo on the mic, yeah, he's spitting that fight. Mike is right with the vision so clear. Political prophet dropping truth in your ear. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Tape fist politics, we advance in the stance. Put your tape fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Tape fist politics gonna shine so bright. MD20 in the cut with the plan. Building up the movement with a taped up hand. Progressive dreams in a conservative frame. Individual voices calling out every name. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Take fist politics, we advance in the stance. Once you take fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Take fist politics, gonna shine so bright.
New golden age. New golden age. A new golden age. A new golden age.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
You talking choppers, you getting right. You on the block.
out with the dope every night.
Said he wanted some scratch, so he took him a life.
Say you wanna get paid, you wanna be right.
18 4K got slapped with the pipe.
Still got on these shades, even though it ain't night. Cause they little pink pills too hard. Let's go on a SRT with a Draco tank. Got a little boy way, can't sleep at night.
You gotta go get that motherfucking dope. You gotta run, say fuck all that hoe. I was just broken, I didn't have a friend, so I went in the trap and I sold me some dope.
Let's
for
go.
real.
Poppin' purse, make her suck dick for an hour, get to work. I told the bitch to get nasty for double. She bought her best friend, they fuck each other. Okay for me, make her fuck my brother. Got a team full of players, free band, no struggle.
Big 4K down to the door.
Might get in there, mo, go dig with shovel. Break out the chopstick, hit on wherever. Broad daylight, bitch, I'ma get on wherever. Let's go, double O walk on this bitch, but I like to talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
Purpose said walk on this bitch, the purpose said talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
I should be geeking out drugs, taking all kinds of shit. Bitch wanna fuck, she fine, he see all kind of bitch.
Running through the design, don't care about shit. I can work one time, though. Watch a little man got shot, you slide, little boy, you a bitch. 15 ball, one play on me. 15 ball.
All right, y'all. Peace. What's going on? What's happening? Hey, look, I just got to keep it real with y'all for the night. I literally just stopped working. I got my food and I'm eating. I'm on my phone right now. As soon as I put this wing down, then I'm gonna set up on my computer, and we'll get the show started in that aspect, so I can give y'all somewhat of a visual. But it's almost apropos that is going down the way that it is, because I want to have an intimate discussion with my co-host Vancat. Shout out to Ricardo, he in the building in the chat. I think he's like, hey, look, man, I'm gonna stay out of this one, but it ain't that big a deal. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that big a deal at all. I think we're gonna have a constructive conversation tonight. That's gonna be edification for everybody. So I don't want to take it as if it's some kind of heated argument, though it may be heated intellectually, which is a good thing. But with that being said, Venkat, what's going on?
Well, MD just admitted that he's hot pocket out, and yeah,
hey, hot pocket in hand.
In hand. What's going on, MD?
Hey, no doubt, because I'm hungry as hell, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna front, man. I'm famished. But yeah, I'm here, man. So, as I finish this wing,
yep,
I'm gonna let you start off. So the first thing I want to discuss for tonight, and y'all see the topic: the rise of the new left and birthright citizenship. I want to start off with the latter, birthright citizenship. We're gonna go from there and just move the show right along with a conversation. As we all know, the decision on the birthright citizenship ruling came down this week, as did other landmark rulings that I'm gonna discuss next week on a proper edition of TLP. But this one was the most important. I've been talking about birthright citizenship since the beginning of 2024. Just me personally.
Yep.
I made an argument, and again, it's not saying this is what I believe. This is what I think should happen. I'm pragmatic in the sense that I can give scenarios on either side. What I attempted to do was say, hey, look, let me give a case for why birthright citizenship, in terms of causality within the law, is appropriate in this way. I think I did a pretty good job in doing so. I've always led with the caveat, Venkat, that based on what the main premise of this case was with the Warren K. Mark case, that precedent alone would nullify or thwart any nefarious tactic Trump and his administration would try to do. I've always carried to that. Even though I may play what some would say devil's advocate with the role itself. Give me your thoughts on the ruling this week. How do you think it should be explained through the Supreme Court? And if you could share with us the meaning that you shared with us in the group chat, and just give us a brief synopsis on that.
Okay. So my thing with this Supreme Court decision is I'm disappointed. Sure, they ultimately struck down what Trump is trying to do with the birthright citizenship. But for the three justices, and it's not just three, because that other idiot, not Gorsuch, was it Gorsuch? Not Gorsuch.
It's Kavanaugh. It's Kavanaugh who you're talking about. We
yeah, that jackass. He just pretty much said present. He didn't even like try to stand on business. So that's kind of really cowardly. But I find it disappointing. Again, like I said to MD at one point in the group chat, Republicans talk about this big game about the importance of the Constitution and the Constitution this and the Constitution that, and the country is nothing could touch the Constitution because the country this is what we're made of, and this is what the country is built to be, and all this importance talk, and for those cowardly justices to say, hey, we're gonna go against it so it doesn't look like we're going against Trump, but we know that the numbers are there, so we can still get the overall mission, which we know is right, which it should have been 6-0. It shouldn't have been. It should have been 9-0. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been any like doubt or ambiguous thinking about like which way it could go either way. No, this was clear cut, but they didn't want to disrupt or anger their daddy, Trump, and they did this bullcrap. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and like to hear conservatives in particular harp on the Constitution and the importance of the Constitution, and then you're gonna turn around and this is the kind of punk ass ruling you're gonna do. It's disappointing. So some people are like, well, at least it held up. I'm not. No, I'm not. It's just troubling to me that it would even go there. Now, MD is on some other stuff about different meanings. I don't care about that. I'm just saying that in the United States of America, how can you have Supreme Court justices not in agreement or an understanding about the importance of the Constitution? So you want to just go ahead and weave and bob your way through because you're playing politics. And I just find that to be just really ridiculous. We know Trump, he hates the Constitution. He pretty much admitted it. He even said he would want to get rid of it and blah, blah, blah. And why would he say that? And why would he do that? Because he's trying to change things fundamentally. See, he goes and he calls the left, and in particular progressives, is crazy, nutty, radical. But if you sit back and watch the moves that Trump has made, which the Supreme Court has a hand in, right? Because they gave him new powers as a president to kind of protect him. So when he does this nefarious stuff, he doesn't have the full penalty that he should be getting. But at the end of the day, though, Trump wants to radically fundamentally change the way this country is. And it's all geared towards singling out certain groups of people. And he's trying to use the Supreme Court to push his bidding. And I just think the Supreme Court should have just shut it down, and then we just move on. By the fact that those three judges dissenting, it now you have a little pause now. Now you're legitimizing fringe ideals, and you're making it more serious than what it is, rather than just a undeniable rejection and we move on to other things. But that's what they did. So in a nutshell, that's what I was on. I don't want to go past my time, but I'll go back to you, MD.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And you know, just to let you know, I agree with the dastardly tactics of Trump. I'd never disagree with that. That you spot on with. But it goes to a more larger issue.
Yep.
So in my video that I made yesterday, and even the day prior when I did a brief reading of Justice Clarence Thomas' dissent, I clearly said that this was being politicized. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to see that.
Right.
But on the same token, as we talked about this before, Van Cat. If you remember the whole thing when they were talking about the ethics of the Supreme Court and
Yep.
Clarence Thomas going to these events, being paid
to
speak at these private political events. And I shared my thoughts with you, Van Cat, and I told you I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, which is troubling to me.
Okay, so let me explain. The reason I don't see nothing wrong with it is based on the fact that the Supreme Court is not first. And again, I'm not trying to cape for the arguments being made. I'll talk about that in a minute. The Supreme Court, in no capacity are they supposed to be robots. And this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. You say that this should be clear cut.
Yep.
9-0 unanimous in this ruling.
Yep.
Well, show me a clear cut unanimous decision in any Supreme Court case, whether it's the positive or the negative. See, and this is the problem that we face when we try to analyze and interpret what the Constitution is. Clarence Thomas's dissent, and I want to center everything around what he said specifically, because I think his was the most troubling. Because clearly Clarence Thomas was grasping for straws. Clearly. like his argument didn't even make sense, is what I'm saying.
Right.
He positioned his argument around domicile, but how does that work in today's context? And that's what I was explaining in the video. Hell, illegal immigrants got domicile right now in the United States. You act like they're just out in the street wandering like the Walking Dead. They're not. They rent houses and apartments and all kind of shit. You know. Not only that, they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof. See, you got to have an underlying understand. You got to have an understanding on what the 14th Amendment says versus what it was intended to do. That's why I said letter of the law versus spirit of the law. I explained all that the other day.
Yep.
You brought up Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, Van Cat. Brett Kavanaugh's, and it wasn't a dissent because technically he was concurring, but he gave the most compelling argument throughout anybody in the whole ruling. Brett Kavanaugh actually sided with what I said, that this is not a constitutional issue. And it never should have been. But because we're dealing with Trump and we're dealing with the idiots within his administration, they tried to, like I said, quick releasing drugs versus delayed release. He want a quick fix for what he's trying to implement. It just don't work like that, Van Cat. That's why throughout almost 2 years now, I've been saying birthright citizenship, as it states in the Constitution, is what it says. Letter of the law. Now, the intent of the law, something totally different, which Ketanji Brown Jackson, and as soon as I get logged into my computer, I'm going to show you what she said. And I posted it actually in a post on YouTube earlier. Just a idiotic thing to say. Ketanji Brown Jackson saying that the people that were emancipated themselves didn't even believe that the citizenship clause was specifically for them. Do you know how dumb that sound, Van Cat?
Wait,
I mean,
hold on now. Because in those times, a lot of the things she's saying black people, let's be real. And a lot of those laws or rights were never meant for.
I agree with you, Van Cat. But again, that's not the argument.
Huh?
The argument is letter of the law versus intent. We know what the law says. We know how it is implied as a living, breathing document. You can't discriminate against somebody based on race, so you cannot write a law that is specific racially. I get that. I'm with you on that. But what was the intent, Van Cat?
You tell me.
You know what Van Cat, you know what the intent was. Don't come on now.
You tell me.
You know what the intent was, just like everybody on that Supreme Court bench know what the intent was. The intent of the law was to make the children of freely emancipated slaves citizens. You know it and I know it.
Yep.
I'm not saying that the intent is not the totality of what that amendment say. I'm not saying that. I just explained to you that nobody can be discriminated against, especially from race. So of course the letter of the law is going to be applied to everybody. No question about it.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of the law is the intention. Ketanji Brown Jackson said some crazy shit. That's what I'm telling you. And she said it to try to do, a one-upsmanship on Clarence Thomas, which was just false. She also said, and like I said, I'm about to pull all this shit up. She also said that, and this is the part that I want to, because I gave an example.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I gave an example of hypocrisy on all sides. She said that Clarence Thomas was a hypocrite, essentially, because he's always talking about the Constitution being a colorblind Constitution, which, by the way, I agree with. It is a colorblind Constitution. But then she says, oh, now he's trying to turn around in this ruling and say that the citizenship clause in the 14th Amendment is specific to only black people. By the way, he never said that in his opinion. So I don't even know where she got that from. But nonetheless, she said it. But then I give the perfect example, Van Cat, and this is where you come in at. So strap your belt tight. You're the guy that always talks about weapons bans and the breathing document that is the Constitution, meaning the framers didn't know there was going to be AK-47s and M16s and bazookas and all kind of shit.
Right.
So we have every right to ban those things. Nobody should have those guns. Well, what about the letter of the law, Van Cat? The letter of the law don't say that. It just don't say it. So would I be far-fetched to say that, every now and again we're all a hypocrite? Every now and again.
Yeah, but
would I be wrong in saying that?
You're going on a document that's made.
Damn, am I there? What the fuck happened?
Hello?
Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I can hear you, MD.
I don't know what happened.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, MD. I can hear you.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Oh, he say he hear me loud and clear, so that must be on Venkat end. It don't say he muted.
MD, can you hear me?
It don't say he muted. I think we done lost Venkat, y'all. Hold on.
No,
give me a second.
I can
I'm
hear
trying
you.
to get everything sorted.
Hello?
Like, who's this calling me?
Hello?
Y'all give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Hello? Hello? Nobody can hear me? Figaro, Figaro. Can anybody hear me? Oh my God. Ricardo and the Elon Musk. Oh, that damn Elon. Oh, Ricardo, you can hear me. I don't know why MD can't hear me. Oh, man. Oh, well, anyway, so I might as well, since I could be heard and MD can't hear me, I'll just keep talking. So, yeah, this whole birthright citizenship thing it's a huge farce. And what's Ricardo saying here? Yep, MD connection was affected by
I'm back
a
now.
phone call. Oh,
It's been a hell of a
MD.
night, man. That was damn the plant calling me about some shit like they didn't even need to call me about.
Oh wow. Can you hear
But
me,
let
MD?
me see. Something might be messing up on my end, y'all.
MD, can you hear me?
Oh man, what a day.
MD.
What a day, what a day.
I'm gonna drop off and come back
Let
in.
me
I can't. I
connect
don't think you can. MD can't hear me.
Wi-Fi to my laptop real quick.
All right, I'll be back. I'm coming back.
Ricardo, can you still hear me? Vancat might have to drop out and Vancat might have to drop out and come back in. Okay. Oh shit. Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm turn that down. Yeah, Vancat will have to there you go. All right, Vancat, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I always could hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why I couldn't hear you. I have no idea.
Yeah, Ricardo said he could hear me.
He said he could hear me too.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but I did get a call though. I did get a call, so maybe that like did something to the stream. I don't know.
Oh, Ricardo on the panel, right? Ricardo, can you hear us?
I'm loud and clear. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
You good?
Perfect.
It seemed like everything good now.
But why is there two MD avatars on
Because
the?
I'm on my laptop and I'm on my phone.
I was just want to say, okay, damn you, Elon Musk and your damn Skynet, AI skybots. If you guys don't go find something to do, goddamn it. But yeah, continue, fellas. I'm just gonna be here.
Nah. You go. You just came up, Ricardo. So yeah, give us your take on the birthright citizenship rule.
All I gotta say is, Long John Silver, I don't know who he is, Thomas. For me, we kind of we had an idea of how this was gonna play out because it was politicized. But I gotta say, there's so much that I want to say, but I'm not gonna ruin it for the show. I just want both of you to get your because
let that shit hang out, man.
Because
say what you gotta say.
For me, I'm a little bit. I don't know if I should say I'm perturbed by Thomas. I don't know if I should be perturbed or a little bit disappointed from his dissent mostly. I thought I would have gotten it more from, is it Roberts? But I didn't get it I got it more from Thomas. All in all, I know there's this, is it, what do you call it, MD? What do you say it's on soil, the Latin term?
Just so Lee.
Justly. The justly is the part that I feel is more that sets the precedence more, because if you're born on the soil, which is here in the US, aren't you automatically an American citizen? So to me, I thought that would have been more of an argument, because if you're looking at, because I think for me overall, based on what I'm seeing, or based on what the whole thing, the presentation of it was, I feel like they were going from the aspect of the immigration portion of it, whereas they're saying like if you're like, I don't know, some random person that's from another country coming here just to have, a birth of your
An
kid,
anchor baby.
and then leave, kind of thing. So the kid automatically becomes a citizen, but what about that person that isn't? So their justification for it is, okay, then it shouldn't be that the kid be the citizen, but the continuation of it. So in other words, like if you have, this is a hard thing to explain. So if you are, if the parent is a citizen, don't they pass the citizenship downwards to the kid aspect of it? Meaning that the justification of the born on soil. So there was so much to the argument that I felt that they wasted so much time on other things that weren't so necessary. And that's where I was like, what was Thomas justifying? What was he going on? It's like he was blabbering over nonsense that didn't make sense. So I could see where Kavanaugh was like, this was not what it's about. But Kavanaugh has to still kind of be the leverage in the part, which I didn't expect Kavanaugh to be, which is weird. It's just weird. I didn't expect just the whole thing of how the dissent went. I just was not expecting that from Thomas. But again, Thomas is getting old. Again, we need these term limits to come into play here, because I have a strange feeling going into November, this will become an issue like how Ruth was when she passed. So I don't know if Thomas is at that stage where he's now just gonna just do batshit crazy things because he can, or this is how he really feels, which I think MD had alluded to, being from Buckhead, that this is just who he is, but we just never knew, because again, the only thing I know from Thomas is the whole Anita thing from the whole thing with her. So I don't know how to read him. It's kind of like that's where the community is also, we're not sure where he stands. It's kind of weird. But I expected better from this whole presentation. Just didn't pan out well for me with him. I just don't know where he was going with it. But that's why I said I wanted you and Van Cat to kind of like go like present the art, because I just didn't get it. I just don't. For me, it just reading through the whole dissent, it was just odd. It was off, but MD kind of alluded or spoke about it mostly on the show the previous night before, but I didn't get where his own countenance was coming from. Is it from the black stance of it, MD, where it's talking about the Freeman's portion, or he's just going by, he just doesn't?
I'll tell you what he was doing. I'll tell you what he was doing. He was bullshit. That's what he was doing.
I figured that's what he was. But
he came up with a whole argument. Like I said, he made a compelling argument for what it was, but in my belief, I think he knew it was bullshit, and he just did something because he knew he had to do it. That's my opinion. I can't prove that.
Shameful. It's shameful.
I can't prove that nothing. But again, the reason people are saying this was actually a 5-4 decision, it wasn't. It was 6-3. But the reason they're saying it was 5-4 is because of Kavanaugh's opinion.
Yep.
Kavanaugh hit the nail on the head with everything you said. You might not like that, Van Cat, but it was right. It was right. And it goes back to my point. Just like Ricardo said, this was never about the Constitution. I'm going to play a video here in a second. When this whole case started and they were having oral argument, this was at the end of last year when they were having oral argument, and John Sauer was presenting this case. Even Gorsuch was like, "Hey man, look, you really want to do this?" Like, because they knew, based on what you just said, Van Cat, the letter of the law, that there was no case. There was no case. So, like Kavanaugh said in his opinion, is this more about law in and of itself or about the Constitution? Kavanaugh said it's about law.
But the Constitution is a law.
So that's
it's multiple. It's
the Constitution is supreme law, meaning
exactly.
You're right and you're wrong at the same time, Van Cat.
No, of course.
When people say law versus Constitution, the Constitution is supreme law. No question about that. But when you talk about law in and of itself, that's not dictated upon the Constitution and the wording. That's dictated upon Congress. That's just a fact. How you know that, MD? Well, I'll tell you how I know it. The fact that you have U.S. code and statutes dictates everything literally that you do in this country. It's not actually the Constitution. Did you know that, Van Cat? The Constitution is actually there to protect you in the event of unlawfulness. Do that make any sense to everybody?
No, that makes sense what you're saying. Keep going.
So the Constitution in and of itself, even though it's supreme law, it's not the law in and of itself. The law in and of itself is not dictated solely on letter of the law or spirit. It's dictated on one of those other co-equal branches that we got in government called Congress. Legislatively.
Senate.
And that's what Kavanaugh explained in his opinion. But you just said you disagree with him.
I still disagree.
But you disagreed when I said. So you agree when I said.
I understand.
But you don't agree when Kavanaugh said.
No,
that's what Kavanaugh said.
I don't like when it comes out of his mouth.
Oh wow! See, and what did I talk about yesterday, Ricardo? Ideological bias and its effect. That's what I talked about. VanCat is a case study.
Yeah, whatever, man.
He a case study. Years on down the line, with this digital record on YouTube, somebody is going to look at this and say, hey, folks, when we talk about ideological bias and stuff like that, here's an example. And they're going to click on this video. We're going to be dead and gone. But that's what I'm talking about. And that's what Kavanaugh was talking about. So in terms of everything you're talking about as far as the Constitution, I agree with it 100%. And to be honest with you, I think Clarence Thomas agreed with it too. But Clarence Thomas is a bullshitter. We've been knowing this for years.
Of course.
He a bullshitter. He had the right. It's almost like doing your homework. You bullshit your way through it. You got somebody else, you copy that. That's what Clarence Thomas did. Lack of a better term. He bullshitted his way through by talking about domicile. Yes, the framers did say domicile, but again, spirit of the law, intent. It wasn't no illegal immigrants running rampant in the country in 1866. They didn't have no idea that this shit was going to be the way it was. Just like the framers of the Second Amendment didn't know we was going to have bazookas and AR-15s and the clock with the switch. They didn't know all that shit.
But that,
hold on, wait a minute, VanCat. What you mean exactly?
You mean what I mean? They didn't. Of course, they didn't know all that stuff was coming. That's where amendments come into play.
So we need an amendment saying that you can't have that stuff.
No, what I'm saying is we need to figure out as a country, what do we find acceptable? Do we think what's the next level? The stormtrooper guns right now, where they're just shooting lasers and whatnot. I mean, where is the limit for regular law-abiding citizens as far as being armed in the country is? And if that's not going to be the limit, then we need regular ass people walking around with grenades, bazookas, just everything. I mean, where's the limit at?
If you can afford
atomic bombs?
If you can afford it.
Oh, stop it, MD. That's crazy. See, MD, you that's where you become radically insane. That's literally when you become radically insane. That's what. See, you got bit by that zombie years and years ago, and you never fully could like just heal up. It's like there's no turning back. You're just radically insane.
Listen. At the end of the day, everything has a price. People. I'm being totally honest.
It's crazy.
You as a government, and this goes back to the Constitution. That's why I love that we're having this discussion.
Yep.
Remember, the Constitution protects your rights through supreme law. Law in and of itself is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works. So, based on the supreme law, which is the Constitution, the government cannot dictate what I can have or what it, the only people that can dictate that are the ones that produce the product. Now, if I produce,
so now you're saying that a corporation, an entity that's driven to make profits and money, is going to have more influence and power on what's happened in my life than the people of the society that the society is built upon, or the people that are voted in it.
Who makes the product? Does the government make the product?
No.
So
no.
I'm confused then.
I have a big issue.
If the government make the product, then you got a point. But the government don't make the product.
No, it depends on the product, though.
The government don't make it. The government don't make shit.
Well, the government makes a lot. The government does make a lot. They outsource it and whatnot. Their money
outsources is not making though, Venkat. Come on now.
I'm just saying
they contract. They're
doing it on behalf of the government.
They do it on behalf of money, as do we all.
I just don't want a corporation making those types of judgments and actions in this society where they dictate how safe or unsafe the country is. That's crazy.
But they're not though. What makes you think that that's what they're doing?
The product they're manufacturing is literally killing people. So
then Ricardo just put a post in a damn Cybertruck just killed a couple of people.
That's
you want to take those away?
Sure did.
You talked about intent. You talked about intent. You talked about intent earlier.
I can intend to run your ass over, Venkat.
Hey, man, you keep flipping it. You keep flipping it.
It's the same logic.
No, man, no. That's not the same.
I can turn anything into a killing instrument. Anything. So you want to take me going in the backyard and having some fun as intent to kill? That's what you equate.
No,
you can't do that, Venkat.
Okay, so if you want to have it that way, then you can have it that way. However, then we need to make laws to where it's so consequences are so like overbearing that because a lot of people they use guns, kill people, and some get off, or they don't spend as much time. There's ways around it, swerving around, getting around these situations, these issues. So depending on, what happens, the penalties are like really like overbearing to the point where if you do something, the hammer coming down on you. Because we know as it stands today, how many people have been shot up. And that person that shot and killed people is walking around. Or the police is stopping and giving them Burger King because they felt hungry after they murdered a bunch of black people in the church. But whatever.
I don't disagree with that aspect. But you shouldn't have the right to take a position away from me because of positions of other people. And that's the slippery slope in which we walk, Venkat.
No, it's not, because I can agree with what you just said. that the actions of others shouldn't limit my ability to do things. However, the actions are not all the same. They're varying degrees of actions. One action is knocking over a potato off of a table. Nobody dies from that. So when there's a higher risk or higher casualty level for action that you are taking that could lead to other people's lives being shortened, I think there's more severity that needs to come from the actions that you're taking. So you have to, if you're going to be in that industry, have to abide by way more, and you can't complain about it. You gotta be subjugated to a lot of scrutiny and a lot of regulation on what you're doing, and that's the problem, because the Republican talking points is not only do they carelessly want to not have any restrictions on how many guns, what type of guns, and whatever the hell they want to do, but then they also don't want to have any responsibility or repercussions for whatever they do with those weapons. And you can't have all of those objectives. You can't be like 100% free to create mass chaos and casualties and not have, because again, the way that the laws are constructed right now, if it was a real deal consequence, we wouldn't have people mowing down people, shooting people, and because they're connected to a powerful person or a rich person, they're not in jail, or they're in jail for a short period of time. And we know with the laws that we deal with in this country specifically, that happens all the goddamn time.
But you moving the goalpost though.
Oh God, now I'm moving the goalpost. How am I moving the goalposts?
Because now you're talking about, I hear an echo on myself. I don't know why. Let me get out of this.
You probably hear an echo because of the two.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I can't hear you though. Hold on. Wait a minute. I done fucked up again, y'all.
Give
me 1 second.
Clear.
Ricardo, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, loud and clear. You're good.
Oh, okay.
All right, so MD fell off for a few seconds, but yeah, very compelling argument because, but I'm gonna try to be the devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Venkat, so not everybody want the government to be interjecting in every aspect of everyone's life.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a very specific thing,
right?
A very important thing. I believe that government is not supposed to be all over people's life. But the thing is when a Democrat talks about the usage of government, it automatically is we want to do everything to restrict your life. Meanwhile, Republicans, when they've talked about it, they're literally in every aspect of people's lives, right? The Republicans are the ones that
don't nobody disagree with that though, Venkat. That don't make it right.
I'm talking about the government needs to set the rules of the game of what we abide by on a daily basis, which is for our safety and which is for fairness in the economy, right? So as long as those rules are set, but they're not, right? Because the people that complain about government are running to go into government to continue to make government more and more inefficient and to skew towards a select chosen few. And this is what we have. And now we go off and we talk about, see, look at how government has been messing up. Look at how government is so bad. And now we have regular common folks who are the ones getting the brunt of the bull that we've been going through. And they can't see this for what it is, which is obviously freaking clear. However, I'm just saying, government has a role. There's a backwards thinking that government is not to be seen, heard, or blah, blah, blah. And that's bullcrap. There is a fundamental role that government takes. And the problem is that everybody looks at government in this bad way, but they allow the people that do the bad things with the government control, and they don't see it for what it is. Government can work. Stop electing people that are purposely not making it work. That's the issue.
Key word, Venkat. You said control. Control
sir.
what?
What do you mean? What?
You said control. I didn't say it.
Wait, what you mean? Control the rules of the
What
game,
what
or
what does the government supposed to control?
okay? So all the laws that are here, right? So we have a lot of laws that are like purposeful loopholes, right? That benefit a connected few, and those are there. But then there are other laws and rules that are not beneficial for usually working class folks and whatnot. So I'm just saying, in general, those laws need to be tailored to the majority of the working class folks instead of you know, skewed towards the big wigs in this society. That's all I'm saying. Let the government not tell me how to make my money or how much money I'm making and all that stuff, but set the rules to the game where it's a fair, more open um, platform for me to be able to work so that my failure is my failure. The actions I did not decide to do and the things I didn't work on, if I fail, then it's on me. I shouldn't fail because of these different traps that the government have out here because they're favoring a corporation or a millionaire, billionaire over working class people. Like, for instance, capital gains, people that are in Wall Street, their tax burden is what, 15% or less. The working class folk, they work on wages. Wages are taxed higher. When Obama was in there, he had it to 39% taxes. I think with Trump right now, it's like 33% or something like that. So we pay higher in taxes off the cuff. So, those are those little things, and you multiply it for all these different industries, different scenarios in the economy. What I'm saying is government needs to set the rules of what we abide by on a daily basis, that it's not skewed towards a certain group of people, and it's just whoever wants to work for what they want to get, they could work and not have to deal with certain burdens. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I'm explaining it legible.
I get what you're saying, but what you just explained is not what you said first, which I 100% agree with. When you said, if I'm a fail, let me fail. That's a very libertarian thing to say, and I liked it.
Yeah.
But then you contradicted it with what
Oh
you
my God.
said last.
What? Dad?
You were talking my kind of language when you first started, which I totally agree with. But then you contradicted yourself. The government is not there to give you no fair shake in regard of results. The government is there to give you a fair shake in regards to opportunity, of course. That's the whole reason that we have the certain amendments that we have now. But what you want, again, I'm going back to control because I'm keyed in on that word that you said, man, Cat.
Yeah.
The government is not there to control anything. The
That's not
government
true.
is, listen to what I'm saying, man, Cat.
Go ahead.
It's not there to control anything. It can create laws and statutes. It can do all of that shit. But it can't control it. Why can't it control it? Because we just talked about it mere moments ago. The supreme law controls everything. You can't do shit if it undermines supreme law, which is the Constitution. That's just a fact.
So
Look at it this way. When I say law, I mean Congress. When I say Constitution, I mean Supreme Court. When I say administration or administrative, I mean president. That's how I learned when I was in civics class. That's how my teacher got it into my brain. Law is law, legislative, Congress. Constitution, interpretation, Supreme Court. Executive, administrative, thingamajiggers or rigmarole, president. That's all there is to it. Nobody can overlap the other. It's literally impossible. Now, in the age of Trump, anything is possible. I get you on that. But the way that it was intended to be constructed, nothing can overlap. It's literally impossible.
Well,
That's the beauty of America.
When I say control, it's like, okay, so we know like the government, right? It uses subsidies, it uses benefits for the sugar industry to make sugar cheaper. They just decide, hey, we're going to make this particular product cheaper, right? And it is. It's so cheap.
You can't just you giving a blanket statement, Venkat.
No, that's not blanket. That's very specific.
It's blanket. It's blanket.
It's not. There's no blanket here at all.
Why do they do it though? Again, we got to talk about intent.
Okay, so
the government does a lot of shit as far as subsidies.
Yeah.
For all kinds of foods. Why do they do it?
Yeah, why do they do it?
They do it because, again, executive, administrative, USDA, Venkat. The government in and of itself is not there to control rates and prices. They're actually a consumer themselves. How do I know that? Because they buy a lot of shit. Why do they do that, Venkat? Because people need shit. But I don't really want to pay a lot of money.
No,
so
but
let me subsidize, just like you said.
Yeah.
Let me subsidize certain. Again, you ain't gotta like agree with it. I don't agree with it.
No, but it's not about that. The simple thing about it is that when you subsidize sugar, you then make it cheaper. When you make it cheaper, you use it more. When you use it more, sugar is in things it shouldn't even be in.
I agree with you, Venkat. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
It's and like people that live in other countries, when they come to the United States and they taste like things that are, I guess, sweet, they taste the extreme sweetness. Then after a while of being here, you eat it, you get used to it. So they're overproducing a product that one isn't beneficial. Why not do that for avocados? Avocados has like all these different uses, just like sugar, but it's better. So
you want to know why they don't do it for avocado? I can tell you why. You know, I'm the avocado
because
man.
of maybe the production. It's probably avocados are more located in Mexico.
Scarce. Yeah, they're more scarce. So you want a GMO avocado with no pit in it? I wouldn't eat it.
I just think that they could do more.
Got to give and take, Venkat.
Yeah, but that's a hell of a take, and we as a society and as a country have taken a hell of a fall, because from the time that passed, where they subsidized sugar, you could literally link that to all the different health issues that Americans are plagued with to this day, and all the other issues that wrap around that as well. So that's what I mean by they could control certain things, not literally controlling every little minute aspect of it. But again, that's why I like to say, set the rules to the game. And then from there, we could, we as individuals, as people, we could then operate the way we need to operate. But we're coming from the negative in this country in America, because everything is so backwards and counterproductive. Like when you eat, it shouldn't be, oh my God, I just took a hit today. No, every time you eat, it should be energetic, energizing, nutritional, nourishing food that you eat.
If you want it to be, that ain't.
That's not. See, that's the problem right there. It should never be if you want it to be. It should just the food that you eat should automatically be nutritious. It shouldn't be a maybe I feel like it today. Food in general, when you eat food, it should just automatically be a nutritious food. But in this country now, we made it a silly choice because a corporation dictated that. Because of profits. That's a problem. Go ahead, MD. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, again, should you prioritize nutrition? Hey, go for it. At the end of the day, nobody's making you do
Oh
anything.
boy, there we go. There
The
go that.
gov.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I just got to be honest, Van Cat. You want Big Brother to control everything.
That is
That's
not.
why I just got to be, I don't mean to be so blunt, Van Cat, but I just
Yeah,
got to keep it a buck with you, man.
yeah.
What you want, and this is a great segue. We ain't going into it right now, but this is a great
Hello,
segue. Can you hear me?
hello. Oh.
Am I there? What's going on?
Loud and clear.
Ricardo.
I can
Okay,
hear
I
you,
can hear
Empty.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was me this time. That was my alarm. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just got to be blunt with you, Van Cat. And this
yeah.
is a great segue. We're gonna talk about it here in a second of the rise of the new left, man. You
Oh boy.
you want? I'm playing the video game right now, at home, not the one I did last night, called The Outer World 2. Great game. It's a satire. It's satire. It's great satire. In the game, you got two warring factions. You got one that's like an ultra capitalist faction, and it's two companies that done merged together, and they out in space. You know what I'm saying? They done merged together, and they ultra capitalists, and your the hours that you work are actually how you build like your currency for your days off. It's crazy. On the other side, you got this authoritarian communist faction, right? And it's a great take how they did it. You got this communist faction where you get rationed out food, and it's called nourishing supplement, and that's part of the shit that you got to eat for health and all that shit. They don't give it's all it's there to do is to provide your body nutrients. That's it. That's all you get. Everything else is banned. You can't eat shit. And you play as a guy that came from Earth, and you see the shit for what it is. You in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And he make all these statements about, hey man, when it comes to capitalism, he talk about freedom and right to choose and all this shit. The company don't believe in none of that shit. The company believe they like a anarcho-capitalist. Like, look, the reason you work is for you to procure enough days so you can be off like once every couple of months. You know what I'm saying? That's the currency. Whereas on the other side, like you just explained, Venkat, the currency is there isn't the currency is being able to live freely. You ain't got to want for nothing. You eat this plain paste, and it supply your body with nutrients. You afford it such and such amount of time. And they got like this revitalization shit. Everything is free, but you can't worship. You can't have your own free time. You always got to be accompanied with somebody. That's Venkat. Then I'm the guy from Earth. I ain't gonna say who Ricardo is. Ricardo is one of the ones observing from the outer spheres of space. But that's what's going on right now. And so what I'm telling you is,
You're spinning it.
I'm not spinning nothing.
You're spinning the hell out of my words and what I'm trying to
telling
say.
you is, no parts of government. I don't give a shit about how ultra capitalist one side is.
Yeah.
Nor how authoritarian and overruling another part of a political faction is, i.e. the new left. Nobody has the right to dictate who you are, what you do. I don't give a shit if it kill you, make your limbs fall. I don't care. Neither should government.
See, that's the problem right there. That's the problem because you're looking at it one way, where it's if one side is trying to counteract the problem, it becomes overly, the lefty stuff. But
it's the righty too.
The corporations introduce products into the economy, products of alleged quote unquote food that didn't exist 100, 200 years ago. And we continued on with it because it was viable for profit. Wheat is cheap and abundant, and you get a lot of it, and it's cheap, but it ain't good for your body. But if we could put some sugar and salt, which in nature, there's nothing in natural nature that has a combination of sugar and salt. It's either sugar or it's either salt. But man-made products, they use wheat or uses whatever garbage they want to do this week. If I could make it taste a certain way and have an addictive factor to it, I can make money. That premise is wrong in itself because why? It's not beneficial for the body and it's not about doing better. It's about making a profit. And it's fine if it's a pair of jeans. It's fine if it's a video game. It's fine if it's a car. But when it comes to life-sustaining parts of the body and of life and just living in general, that's where the line should be drawn. You shouldn't be okay with corporations dumping in water. You shouldn't be okay with corporations like McDonald's that really take the worst piece of trash they usually in 100 years ago would throw away, and then they put some pneumonia on the meat, the pieces of the cartilage and blah blah blah, whip it together, blend it up, and put sugar and spices and blah 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 to make it smell and taste a certain way, just so that they could make money off the stuff they used to throw away. And you eat it and you're like, damn, that junk good. This is the problem. We've allowed a corporation to dictate. MD is literally okay with a corporation selling something that could over a slow period of time that can kill you, because that's just capitalism, baby. I'm saying, why was a corporation allowed to introduce in the food system that we have things that were not food naturally to us to begin with? And now everything
you
is
just moved the goalpost again. You just literally just moved it again, Van Cat.
Oh my God!
Now you're talking about regulation. now you talk. You went from not being able to do shit at all, then to say that the government should be able to control what you eat and all this type. Now you're talking about micromanaging in terms of regulation.
Now what you're doing is you're talking about the regulation and the controlling part, but you're not talking about the original sin of a company being able to start and bring in those products to make a profit, which was detrimental. It shouldn't have happened from the beginning. We should never have to worry that, oh my God, I just ate that thing and it's going to rise my blood sugar, or it's going to do something to my heart, or it's going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you eat food, it's supposed to regenerate. You don't put gas in your car thinking, oh my God, my car might blow up because it's not the right kind of gas or whatever. You just, food should not be this thing that you have to have a degree in to figure out what to eat. It should just naturally just be good for your body. But now, because of corporations, we have so many bad foods out here. Why are we okay with a corporation setting that standard in life? I don't get that. We completely destroyed everything.
Why are you comfortable with the consumer buying it?
Oh, stop it, MD. This is documented stuff.
Is that not what you are? Are you a consumer, yes or no?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here?
Oh, stop it, MD.
Matter of fact, who's got the power? The consumer or the manufacturer?
You know that a lot of people don't have basic understanding of like what really went on. I used to eat this thing when I was younger. I used to eat this thing called Steakum, right?
Steakum's nasty as hell.
Exactly. I used to eat. I didn't think about it as being something bad because when they cook it up, they season it a certain way, put melted cheese on it. I'm like, oh, that's good. Years later, I started looking into what's in it, how it was cultivated. And I'm like, what the hell? And it was done. Why? Because there was a profit-driven. They could get the item for cheap, and they can maximize profits on it. So it didn't matter that it wasn't something correct for my body.
Yes or no, Van Cat?
No, it's not.
That ain't what I asked you. Was the steakum good? You just said it was. You said you put cheese on the stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't know at the time. Now I know better, and there's a lot of people that are going to be like that, and probably worse. And that's what I'm saying.
So stupidity is the ultimate
Oh,
factor.
come on, MD, you keep twisting everything I'm saying.
Is that not what you just said? Ricardo, help me out here, man. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Go ahead, MD.
You literally just said people don't know what's going on. I'm just going off what you said. I didn't say it. So again, it still goes back to the consumer. You just admitted that the consumer, for the most part, are dumbasses, which I tend to agree. I ain't gonna,
I mean, there, MD, but
I wouldn't say that, MD.
But so let me position it to Venkat this way then, because I gotta go there. So Venkat, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, all right, let's use Sony and their evil, minion self today. Yesterday they announced that they're gonna get rid of the that we've been discussing for a while. Disc sets starting January 2028. I guess any console after that will no longer have any openings to have the
disc drives,
right, which is to me so devastating, because if you think about it, it's not just North American people that use PlayStation, it's people around the world. So for you to just do that, it's gonna be devastating. I don't know if Sony's prepared for that loss, but they made that position be known today. So let's just say now we've moved past February 2028, and they discovered that there's something wrong, and the stupid PlayStation is flammable. Government decides, hey, we're going to interject ourselves here, because how dare this conglomerate and corporate entity decides that they're going to make this damn product and didn't have safety in mind. So all these damn people are now getting, because again, consumers are stupid. The slightest thing, then they will put like a fork or something and jam the damn thing, and it's susceptible to explosion and whatnot. I'm just going by hypotheticals there. And then the government says, hey, we're gonna force Sony to, I don't know, create a backup hard drive. You remember those portable hard drives they used to have back in the day, kind of thing? So they're gonna force Sony, I don't know what Sony will call that, I guess PlayStation Portable backup hard drive, I don't know, whatever. But the point that I'm trying to make is that they force them to make it. Let's just say, I don't know, somewhere in between that, something else happens. Do you think it's fair that, the government needs to be interjecting when this is like a private company for the greater good of the consumers? Or do you think the government should just interject only where it's convenient to, for the necessity of the safety aspect only portion, not just the whole thing? In other words, whatever the issue is that they found, primarily just zeroed in, or just for the PlayStation hard drive section, or just for the whole PlayStation, if you get the drive I'm going for.
You know the answer to that, Ricardo.
No.
Listen, Venkat believe when somebody make intellectual property and you buy it, it becomes your intellectual property. That's what Venkat believe.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah. So I saw a great video today. I might say it here in a second.
Yeah.
Well, they said the same. Of course, there's always fine print somewhere, right?
Yep.
They said in the movies, any type of media, CD, it's a stamped copyright thingamajigger. They said within that five print since 1983, it said the same thing to present day, that you yourself as a consumer don't own the rights to this media on this disc or whatever, vinyl, whatever.
Right.
You never owned it, yet it's on a hard copy of a print. That might be a CD, a vinyl record, a VHS tape, whatever it is. It always said on that print that you're not the owner of the media on said print.
Okay.
But they can't really stop. It ain't like they're gonna come to your house and take your
No.
VHS tape.
What that all means is you buy a CD. You then go take the CD. You rent an auditorium, and then you play the CD, exclusive music from such and such artists. You can't hear this nowhere else. Everybody buys up tickets. Sit down in my audience. I play the CD. After the CD plays, I collect all my money, and then I go the next night. I do the same thing. You're making money off that versus a person having that CD in the privacy of their home, watching it for their own pleasure and entertainment. They didn't charge anybody, any family members to watch anything. They're not benefiting or making money off of it. When you're the owner of intellectual property, you have the right to make money on it. When you are a consumer or a buyer of that product or intellectual property, you are owning it for your own personal entertainment and use. Those are two different things. And that's what I'm saying. You guys get caught up in this, oh, they want to control the government. No, it's logical stuff. And the thing is, you guys don't want to see the logic. You guys want to go to the sensational, and it just doesn't make sense because in doing that, you're allowing on the other end the corporations and the rich to completely screw you over. And this is like MD said, this is being recorded and we'll be dead and gone. But the words will still stay there. And a lot of times people say stuff in the day, in the moment, and it's foolish as hell. They didn't see it at the moment. As time passes, it doesn't age well. But what I'm talking about is real. What I'm talking about is sensible. But when you guys prejudge the notions or the ideas, you kind of screw yourself over. That's all I'm saying.
Now, so I don't disagree with in regards of physical media. Physical media is physical media. Even a lot of times since the advent of like PS4 and Xbox One, I remember the whole thing with Xbox One when they was doing I think it was called I forgot what they called it. You remember there was a time where Xbox was saying, in order for you to play Xbox, you got to be online and you got to check in and all that.
Right.
And it didn't go well. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's people in rural areas that don't have the connection for that.
Right. And I totally understand that. And I was against that, right? When it comes to the media that is in your library, whether it's physical or whether it's digital. Again, y'all already know me. I don't personally care. I bought a game and I can't even tell. I think the last physical game that I bought, shit, man, what was it? It's been a long time, like a real long time. I don't care about the digital library. I don't. I also go into it understanding, hey, look, I don't own this, for the lack of a better term, intellectual property. Not to start back the argument with Venkat. I don't go into it believing somehow, some way that media is gonna be with me forever. Not only, Ricardo, did they say that they was gonna stop doing this, they also saying they taking like some movies away.
PlayStation 3.
The PlayStation 3 store and like 500
Vita
some
too.
shit like that.
Yeah.
So people that got movies in their Sony library on their PlayStation, they gonna take them shits out your library.
Oh yeah, well they already did that to mine. Thank God I didn't have a big massive library. I just had a few certain things, but that's the other thing too. I still spent that money. And at the time of purchase, what did it say? It says rent $4.99, own $14.99.
And that's what I was getting to, Venkat.
And I clicked own, and now we're retroactively taking it away. So what I'm saying is you could take away everything you want to take away, but you got to now give me credit back for the amount I spent on it. And if you can't do that, then you can't charge that. And then the other thing too is when you look at a DVD or a Blu-ray or 4K, the price for a DVD is probably going to be $9.99. The Blu-ray is going to be $19.99, and the 4K is going to be $24 to $29.99. Think about that price point for a second. So if you go on a digital store right now, Amazon, Apple, whoever, you look at a movie that's coming out right now, digitally, it's going to be $24.99 to $34.99. Now you got to think to yourself, what the hell is that? Because why? When you deal with physical, what comes with physical? Actual cardboard, plastic, containers, printing. That's all additional costs, right?
Overhead. That's overhead.
Exactly. When you deal with digital, where's that cost? So why did the digital come out to be around the same or more than the physical? So that in itself, what the companies are doing, Nintendo, Sony, and whatnot, they're killing out the middlemen, right? Which would be who? GameStop and the other retailers that will secondhand sell it, and the price goes down. This is a time we've never seen before. Think about back in the days, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, right? When you had a Super Nintendo and it was like, oh, we're 6 months to a year from Nintendo 64 coming out. Do you think the Super Nintendo which is originally $199, do you think it's going to go jump to $399? No. The system is going to go down to $99, $89. It's going to go down in price. The games will follow suit as well because the new system is coming. But now we're in a time period where the goddamn system, the older system, the older version of the system is actually going up in price. Now, MD elaborated about the reasons for why, mainly with the RAM, and I understand that, but it still doesn't justify it. It's a snaky business, and it's getting way out of control.
Do you know what the price of RAM is right now? That shit is insane.
Yes.
So I mean, it is what it is, but you got to ask yourself, in the sake of business, is it a beneficial thing? Matter of fact, fuck if it's beneficial or not. Is it morally right? And that's me using it.
Right. Because you don't believe in morals.
I don't believe in morals.
You're right.
But for lack of a better term, is it morally right, knowing that we're in a shortage right now, to be putting out a system?
Exactly. But I'll take it even further. The moral thing is one thing, right? But I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. And your business reputation is almost everything. That's why crappy companies like McDonald's that sell crappy ass food, they can be relevant in our culture because why? They're being seen on TV, internet, the radio, they have commercials, the magazines, there's always something. In a movie, somebody's biting on a McDonald's product. So that leads to social acceptance. That leads to, hey, that's the thing to do because we keep seeing it. But once you lose that status, it becomes worthless. So now I say that because these actions that the video game industry and Hollywood and the motion picture companies, all these bastards that have media and intellectual property, what they're doing is they're at a crossroads right now where it could go back to those days. You remember Star Wars saved the movie industry, right? Before Star Wars, Jaws, the movie industry was trash. They couldn't make money back then. And it wasn't until Star Wars and Jaws and all the summer blockbuster craze started happening that movies became a viable option again, and the industry thrived. And it got even bigger when VHS came into play, Laserdisc, Blu-rays, DVDs, all that stuff. Now they're gonna push their customers to pay more for lower rated content, because let's be real, on PlayStation 5 you lucky to get 2 or 3 games worth buying, a AAA game. I know I have a PlayStation 5 since 2022, and the games, they're far few and in between, and it's not worth it. So now I done paid into this higher ass amount of money to get this system, and then on top of that, your production of quality games has dipped, right? And now you're just gonna make people just want. First, the cost part is gonna automatically take out a certain group of people immediately. That's off the bat. And they're talking about PlayStation 6 coming out at like $1,100 for the base model. like so they're coming to a point, just like with Hollywood back in the day before Star Wars and Jaws, where not only is the fan interest in the products they're creating going to dramatically dip, talking E.T. Atari 1982 style, but then you're pushing your consumers out with these ridiculous prices, because a PlayStation console is not going to be anywhere near an actual computer. So, they're killing their own industry. So let them stab themselves to death and bleed. But I've already checked out of the video game industry. I'm not buying the next generation. I'm just sorry.
But just to put it back to full circle, we all know why they're going through this direction, Venkat and MB. It's because AI is now here. Artificial intelligence is here, just like it's going to affect Hollywood. When they had that writer strike back when we close to the pandemic timeframe, that was about people's likeness and intellectual properties being used. Now we've seen it before. I mean, even Team Fist Politics theme song is an AI generated thing. So even in some of the most funniest what you call it
Man,
AI song.
don't be calling me put me on blast like that, man. Don't nobody need to do that.
But
hell, we might get a call from a recording studio or something, man.
but it's here. So my thing is, this is where I feel like the Van Cat's argument now stands, is that this is where I feel like the government needs to now catch up to this, because I feel like they are somewhat, if not way behind, in terms of like implementing laws that would now should be implemented, put in place to protect not only intellectual properties but to protect
the consumer.
But
the consumer.
That's where the conglomerates like the Elon Musk and the Bill Gates and the rest of them are going to do stuff where it's way too far ahead projected wise for then the government to they have to catch up now, or else it's going to be more difficult to try to, like, for instance, we have, there's so much, there's a plethora of things that happens online that you can't, once you do something online, you can't erase that footprint. I think AI can kind of do that now, where like you could get yourself removed from the what do you call it, black market, where like if your information is stolen, because we all know how these freaking companies like AT&T, I'm sure MD can attest to this, when AT&T got hacked. How many goddamn years ago? I'm getting spammed like crazy now. And I'm sure it's not just AT&T, it's every freaking telecommunication company is being spammed with the consumers are being spammed with whatnot. Now I feel we're gonna get into that payola crap where now you have to pay AI to erase your information online. Where do we draw the line? Where do we stop, as to protect the consumers? We're just going to keep paying 10, it's going to start from 5, 10, 15, $20, now 50 to 100 to try to clear your information with AI. Who is policing the AI? That's where I feel like the government needs to interject somewhat, not over everything, but somewhere in the middle there, you got to be like, okay, we can need to pass laws to say we need to protect, because God knows what Meta, which is the conglomerate that owns Facebook, WhatsApp, I don't know what else they own, Instagram, they could change whatever their fine prints are, and then say, okay, well, now we could use your information or we could go in and turn on your information on your phone and blah blah blah. There needs to be certain protection put in place for the consumers, but then again, it's a private company. Where do you draw the line where you're going to say, what's his name? What was the guy that owns Facebook's name? Again, I can't remember his name.
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Once Zuckerberg says, "Wait a minute, it's my company. I could, even though it's my company, it's still run by, what you would call those people. They dictate and tell me what I can and can't do. So where do at some point in time we got to say government comes in and say we pass laws to protect, like, from cyberbullying, from the framing of like using sex pics and all this stuff, like, against like people and all that. Like, there's certain things that you could put in place, but that's where you don't want, again, we don't want the government to be embedded in everything we do, but someone set themselves in place to put in laws to protect the consumers where it's necessary. Does that make sense, MD? Like, am I saying it too wrong, or do you agree with me there? You don't need the government to be in everything, but it should be there somewhere in the middle to try to, protect the consumer somewhere.
I'm not disagreeing with legislation. That's not my argument. Contrary to popular belief, it's not my argument. I'm not disagreeing with legislation. What I'm disagreeing with is how constitutional is that legislation. And going back to the original thing with birthright citizenship, that's what Kavanaugh was talking about. Kavanaugh he didn't say nothing wrong. Kavanaugh simply said, hey, look, when it comes to the Constitution, this is not an issue. The Constitution, just like Van Cat say, just like all the liberals and left-wing media say, it in fact says what it says. Anybody that is born here and subject to the jurisdiction thereof is United States citizen. No doubt about it.
Naturalized or born on solid
born or naturalized.
Right.
Just so Lee.
We have to
so Lee. What's the other one? Ricardo. Just so Lee and just
so Lee and the other. I can't
remember the other one. It's just something. Born of the soil and born of something else.
Right. Because in actuality, if we're gonna go by the law, technically John McCain wasn't born in the U.S. He was born in the Panama zone.
So again, slippery slope. No, Ricardo. There's a lot of people that are not born in the United States.
Exactly. A lot of people are born on U.S. bases that are not in the United States. So do you call them?
But again, if we look at the Civil Rights Act of 1866, by which the 14th Amendment was codified on, it was originally the Civil Rights Act of 1866, got the same exact thing in it. Instead of saying subject to the jurisdiction, they say subject to a foreign power. If I'm on an army base and I'm born, my dad is subject to the foreign power of the United States. Therefore, I'm a U.S. citizen.
But then you'd have to prove that, though, MD, because remember there was a case.
What you mean prove it? You're on the damn army.
No. Listen to me, MD. There was a case not too long ago. I think this is during the pandemic, where there was a Jamaican guy that was born on an army base. His dad, I guess, was in the army, and his mom was, I don't know if she was some kind of contract or whatever. Long story short, it comes to find out that I guess he didn't have any passport, nothing that connects him to the U.S. So therefore, the argument was that they were going to deport him back to Jamaica, where he has no connection to, other than the fact that his parents, might have been born there, but they are actual U.S. citizens here. But he was.
But you saying he was enlisted in the army, though, right?
I don't remember how it went. I think it was something along that lines. But he has no connection. There's no paperwork that links him to the U.S. But he was born on the army base. And then I guess he decided to serve or whatnot, what the story is. But, there's a lot of people here in this, believe it or not, which is crazy to me. Don't ask me how. They will be here for years and never decide to get the citizenship. They don't want it. They be PR residents. The PR card runs out. And then for whatever the reason, they might have had an infraction where they might have been like...
a lot of people just overstay their visa. A lot of people do that.
A lot of people. But then it catches up to them somehow when they do certain things and they're like, wait a minute, you had this infraction against you for years, like a traffic ticket that you never paid for, or some accident or whatever it may be, and that's where they go. We're going to deport you back. So when they decide we're going to deport you back, but you're like, wait a minute, hold up, I'm a national of the United States. No, baby, you don't have no proof. There's nothing that connects you to the U.S. So then it's like, okay, then where does the law come into the interpretation of this? Just Soleil is like if you're born in the US, but if you're on a US Army base in Germany, are you technically an American citizen then?
Yes, because
If
you're
you
subject to a foreign power, which is the United States.
So
That's what the law say. I'm not
that's what
saying
the
it. That's
law
what the
said.
law say.
But I'm trying to make sure the MAGA maniacs out there understand this because a lot of them are out there. That I had an argument about this today, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because technically, John McCain was not born in the U.S. He was born in the Panama Canal Zone, which at the time was under U.S. jurisdiction. So do you then not state that he's a U.S. citizen? Oh well, there's
But
no.
Ricardo,
Oh well.
you can make that same argument. Okay, let's take that logic and now let's put it on an illegal alien.
Mm-hmm.
There is no documentation of an illegal alien. A baby is a baby. A baby ain't subject to shit, but his mama.
But then it comes back to the whole dissension from Thomas and when because we're gonna go by so the baby's a baby that like you just stated. So wouldn't in actuality speaking in terms of the content of the law, you're passing the citizenship onwards to the baby if you are a parent here. Wouldn't that make more sense?
You
So
might have just hit the nail on the head, Ricardo. But VetCat, don't tell VetCat that. You shh.
Oh boy.
no,
Don't do
because
it.
that's where I was confused with Thomas. I'm like, but then you pass the citizenship on once the baby is born, because that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm naturalized, and that's the interpretation that I got. Because they tell you that when you're naturalized as well. Once you are a U.S. citizen naturalized and you have a child, you pass the birthright down to the child. The child is a baby. The baby doesn't. The baby doesn't know
Well, I
anything.
mean, not that ain't what the law say though, Ricardo.
No,
The
no, I
law,
know, but I'm using that
the
as an
law is
example.
clear.
Yeah, yeah. I'm using
Like
that as an
if
example.
you're born is key word, born or naturalized,
Mm-hmm.
and you subject to the jurisdiction thereof. See, that's the part where a lot of people gotta put emphasis on that part. Born ain't it. What does it mean to be subject to the jurisdiction? That's the key in all of this shit. That's the key. Everybody is subject to the jurisdiction if they in the United States. Everybody.
If you're right, or if you're in a territory, or because remember we do have territories.
Right. Of course.
Right.
Yeah. But everybody is subject. I just can't come here on vacation and do whatever the fuck I want to do and then just leave. I can't do that.
Wait, hold up, no, that's not true though, MD. Let me do a pushback there. If you are a diplomat, you technically
Well,
can't.
that's the exception. Of course, that's the exception.
So you got to make sure you make
But why is
that
that the exception though, Ricardo? Because that
because
diplomat is not subject to the power of the United States.
there you
They're
go.
subject to the power of their country.
There you go.
So, but what of the
And that's
illegal
not
alien though, Ricardo? That's what I'm trying to get at.
and that's not
Can you?
fair though. By the way, that's not fair that a diplomat can do that. But again, there's laws that protects them. So because there was a situation where I think it was a U.S. diplomat that went into the UK, and I guess he was speeding one night and hit um, a pedestrian who happens to be a UK citizen. And for whatever reason, because he was a diplomat, he got away with it. But then they were trying to pursue him, and they couldn't because apparently there's laws that protects a diplomat when they're in a foreign country like the United Kingdom. So I was like, is that fair? Technically, no, because you committed murder. You knew exactly. You drove drunk. You knew damn well that you're not supposed to be drinking, and you drove and speed your car and hit a law-abiding citizen of the UK doing just going about their business. For all and then you just hit them just for doing a joyride, and then you just decide I'm going to run to the consulate and run away, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, you're gonna
It's
have to
not fair.
take that up with the framers of the 14th Amendment, because that's what they say. You know what I mean? Because in fact, and you got diplomats that got their whole family over here.
Yes, they do. Yes,
None
they
of
do.
them are subject to the jurisdiction of the
That
United
is
States.
true. That is
But they
correct.
kicking it. They kicking it hard. A lot of the UN ambassadors, they live in New York City. They live
Yes,
there.
they do.
Not subject to the
And
power that is the United States.
And it's important to note that the United Nations building in New York is technically not. It's not a
It's international territory.
international territory. Yeah, so it's not it's not actually in U.S. soil, by the way. Which I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, so there's a lot that people.
So that bodes the question though, Ricardo. And after this, we're gonna move on. If we understand that foreign diplomats, ambassadors, so on and so forth, are here on this soil, not subject to the jurisdiction. And like I said, I did a whole show about this almost 2 years ago, where I broke down the language of the people that actually wrote the damn thing. The hell with what any Supreme Court justice say. I went directly to the people that actually wrote it. What they said. They said an alien or a foreign dignitary. What does that mean, Ricardo? And like I said, this
An
ain't me
immigrant.
saying, so is an alien subject to the jurisdiction of the United States? Yes and no. Why do I say both? Yes, they're subject to the laws because they're undocumented. They're undocumented. If you're here on the soil of the United States, you're not a foreign diplomat. You don't have any foreign power because I guess you gave it up when you left. You're subject to our laws, meaning the moment your toe step foot across this border, you have now broken the law because you're subject to the jurisdiction. That's what it means. Meaning you're illegal alien. Now, you have a child, you ducking and dodging, you have a child over here. Based on what the law say, the law clearly says it, like Kavanaugh said. But what of the parent? Now you're talking about de facto deportation. Remember, this was a whole thing during Obama. And that's why I'm confused as to why we even had this. I know why we had it. Again, Trump at the end of the
Of
day.
course you do. Yep, you know exactly why.
Of course.
But this was a whole thing under Obama where they called it de facto deportation. Meaning remember we had the Dreamers and DACA and all that shit was going on.
People.
At the same time, he was deporting the hell out parents and didn't know what to do with the kids. So they called it de facto deportation. You're not gonna split them up. What the kids gonna be, ward of the state? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're just gonna have a whole bunch of Mexican orphanages around the country? No, of course not. De facto deportation. They got to go too, because we don't want to split the family up.
That makes more sense than having kids in cages.
This should have never been a thing, because the parents can still get deported all day long, point blank period. If they're illegal, TPS that's something totally different. But again, Trump is a dumbass, so he tried to include TPS in there. People that's under temporary protective status got a status in America already. So what are we doing?
Right.
Illegal aliens, that's something totally different. So, there's that. There's that.
Hey, MD,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say one more thing with the Sony thing. So Sony has made the decision to get rid of physical media. They also shut down digital. So they shut down a physical thing and they shut down a digital thing. So that's letting you know how bad it's going to be. But the worst part is that when you look at the big three, Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony is the absolute worst at running their digital store. The PlayStation store was the worst thing, right? They had the biggest data breach in 2011. I'll never forget it, because I had just got a PlayStation 3 and I was ready to go. I bought all these cards, ready to download games and play games in general. And like 2 days after I bought my PS3, boom, big shutdown. And it lasted for months. They never could handle the digital side of gaming. Now Xbox, they always pretty much had their Xbox Live and all that.
I've never had an issue with Microsoft ever.
Exactly. And then Nintendo, they so far behind in technology, they don't even. It doesn't even affect them to the level that the others get. So, but Sony has always been the one that's been most prone, most vulnerable, most subjected to multiple breaches. That 2011 one was the biggest, but there were others after that as well. So now we have that company with that history going to do that action, which is go all in on digital, something they have been fumbling for decades.
But they had no choice though, Venkat, because once it worked for Microsoft with Xbox Series X with this stupid naming conventions that they have. God, they have some terrible names.
Yes, it's horrible.
When they did it with the Series X and Sony realized, oh man, we're really far behind. We're gonna have to start doing digital paid subscription because they're making. Microsoft bragged about that. That literally we're making money because if people are gonna pay $10 a month for a gaming pass, which at the time I thought, but then it worked because whatever. If I can have a huge library of 5,000 games with a gaming pass that you pay monthly, what's the point of me carrying a whole bunch of this? Like, it's kind of like antiquated to carry this, but I get it because there's people that are in other countries that don't really have the capability of using the subscription. Furthermore, they have all the internet. That's like another thing in certain countries. So to have the disc, it's beneficial. But I don't know if this is going to work because Sony has more wider world coverage. Not to say Xbox doesn't, because Microsoft caught up a little bit throughout the years. But in terms of notoriety-wise, a lot of people have Sony more than they do with Xboxes. So it's one of those cash conundrums. I don't know how that's going to work for Sony, but I wish them well. I really do.
but Ricardo, you don't see a quadriplegic going live on ESPN saying, I'm declaring my entry into the NBA draft. They're not doing that because they're not capable or ready to be able to do that. Sony is a quadriplegic just bumbling and fumbling all over the goddamn place when it comes to digital in general. They've done it horribly for a long, extended period of time. And now they're talking about they going all in. And it's just a disaster waiting to happen. There's going to be more data breaches. You're going to have people logging into other people's accounts, stealing their games, stealing their personal information, credit card information, and whatnot. They're completely inept, and they're not ready for this. And for them to take that leap, when, by the way, we still have people living in rural areas that don't have great connection.
No, they don't.
And what are they going to do?
Money talks.
So you just eliminated a huge chunk of your consumer base right off the bat.
They don't care, Venkat. It's about again, we live in a capitalistic, environment. Money talks where money walks. It's all about making money. They don't care about. And again, it's just like if you're at the airport, when you have the older, folks that are like, "Hey, I don't have a cell phone and I don't have an iPhone." Well, I'm sorry, but that's every digital, pass in terms of like a boarding pass is done digitally now. Everything with paper is going away. So if you don't have a phone in how to do like, custom forms and all those stuff when you travel abroad and all that stuff, I don't know how to help you because it's not like 1993. We're now in 2026. So
right.
It's the
I
same
agree with
concept.
that. I agree with that part.
You gotta. It's again. People are gonna have to catch up, but money walks where money talks. It's what the consumers are gonna spend, and what dictates at the end is how much they're gonna spend, if they spend at all, for these brand new lavish consoles that are coming down the road with the best latest graphics. Because again, it was always about the graphics, not about.
And you notice how the graphics like when you went from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, that was like, wow, that's a difference. When you went from Nintendo 64 to Dreamcast or whatever, or the PlayStation 2, there was a huge jump in like graphics, sound, and just game all around. And nowadays, it don't seem like PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. it doesn't feel like any major thing. I know that there's nuances and little, but you shouldn't have to strain your eyes to really tell or see a difference. And that's a big problem. Where's the next level going to go? Because you got to justify these increased prices. And if PlayStation 6 is going to look like PlayStation 4, we got a problem.
Well, we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how that goes. I tell you why they did it. After GTA 6 said they was gonna be digital only, they said, yeah, this is our window right here.
And plus, every game is cross-platform now, so yeah.
They said this is our window to announce. What would be the other only reason to announce some shit a year and a half out? like why are you telling us this now? Like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, again, PlayStation 6, I would assume will be coming out around that time. So they just want to soften the blow. They just want to soften the blow. And it's probably gonna work.
They shouldn't come out. They shouldn't come out with a PlayStation 6 till like 3-4 years from now.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I know, but they should. I mean, considering with the cost price, and then the fact that PlayStation 5 really hasn't gotten into full gear yet, they should just push it.
It's a couple of games that I do want to play that's coming out on PlayStation. It's a couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
Am I justified buying a $700-800 console just to play 2 games? No. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny because I paid. I mean, I don't have the PlayStation Pro. I have the original PlayStation 5 one. Yeah. But like that was $560 or something like that. And now it's like nearing 800 level.
Yeah. That's where we at right now, man. Like I said, AI is kicking everybody's ass, man.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. And until that bubble bursts, whenever that may be, it could be a year from now, it could be 5 years. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think the AI bursts will lead to a 2008 type of financial collapse recession?
No, it won't.
You don't think it'll affect? Oh, okay.
No, it's not going to affect you as a consumer, and the reason why it won't, because it'll still be a private aspect. This is not about private AI use. It ain't about private AI. This is about government AI use.
Okay.
There won't be a crash. It won't be. Even if a lot of the AI companies like go out of business, it's not going to affect you because the technology is already there. You know what I'm saying? Palantir can go out of let me not use them. What's another fucking what's the Claude Anthropic, right? Anthropic can go out of business technically today and still make money because their interface is in a lot of places. You if that make any sense, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
So it won't be like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Like, they go out of business, they fucked. And people that got loans through them are fucked too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that.
Yeah.
But with AI, it's different. I want the AI bubble to burst because I want cheaper technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the more AI grows, the more cost everything. You look at Apple. Apple going up on their shit because the chips. Everything as far as technology is going up in price because AI is sucking up all the technology. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Once they go away, we'll be okay. But until then, we kind of screwed. And that's just what it is. On not just gaming, shit, a lot of stuff. I don't know if you remember what was that a little bit after COVID. You remember the car chip crisis? You remember that? I remember that shit because I was in trucking and it affect new trucks too. Remember they couldn't get the computer chips for the cars. And it was a car shortage. Like technology affect everything in your life, bro. Without technology, you're screwed, is what I'm telling you. And now technology is too high Because AI. The data centers, all the RAM, all the storage is going to the AI center. All of it. Meaning there's less of a supply, but it's a lot of demand in the market. So now 2 sticks of RAM is $600. That's insane. That's insane. So that's where we are, man. That's where we are. All right, let's move on then. We're going to get up out of here. Like I said, this is just an abbreviated show. Am I getting a cold? What's going on? No stuffy all of a sudden. Probably from the wings, though, man.
Yeah, how was the chicken, MD? Was it barbecue?
Nah, I got some Zaxby's, man. I got some damn some nuclear wing. I don't know if y'all got Zaxby's down there. I'm pretty sure y'all do.
Yeah, there's Zaxby's.
Yeah,
there's Zaxby's.
Yeah, Zaxby's the shit, man. some wings and some celery, and I'm good. That's all I needed. That's all I needed, man. But yeah, I got
better than Wingstop, right?
I don't know, man. I tried Wingstop. I had some Wingstop last week.
Yeah.
They got a new flavor at Wingstop, Cajun. It's like Cajun wet. Them shits was good as hell. I was like, damn. There's some good ass wings. them shits was tremendous. But I mean, Zaxby's is an Atlanta restaurant, so I've been knowing about Zaxby's before they was nationwide. Zaxby's just go to, just because it's easy access.
Yeah.
Atlanta is wing city, man. You can't beat a wing. But hey, something quick and easy, man. I was hungry too because I ain't ate all day long. I've been driving all day. And then my damn my computer and my damn you know the situation with my computer, so
yeah.
My damn charger. But let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen real quick, and then we're gonna go and get up out of here. Let's see. And then, like I said, next week we're gonna be breaking down the Supreme Court cases. We're gonna have a proper show, a TFP. So I wanted to get your take on this, Van Cat, and let me put it up on the screen. And Ricardo. So it's a brutal wake-up call for NYC's Democratic establishment. Now, I'm glad that it kind of put its focus strictly on New York City. I think that's important because a lot of people haven't been doing that. A lot of people want to equate what's going. Now, don't get it twisted. I understand the surge. Just what was Tuesday, we had another DSA member in Colorado. Shout out to Jesse in his district. Just win another congressional primary and took out a 30-year veteran of the Congress. Took her ass out. So I understand that it's happening in other places in the country. This just ain't no New York City thing. But I also understand it's only happening in places that's deep, 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 deep blue. You know what I'm saying? I also get that. I have not seen a case where it's a battleground district or a highly contested district where they've been getting these wins. I don't want to take shit away from them, and that's what we're going to talk about, but I haven't seen it, and I'll just leave it at that. So it says a brutal wake-up call for NYC's Democratic establishment. And I wanted to read this little excerpt here and get your take on it. What was it? I think it was the third. No, it was this one. It's talking about at the other end of the political spectrum, New York Post columnist Michael Benjamin rejects the notion that the DSA has won a contest by Diaz. Today's Democratic Socialist romp, that's a funny word, romp, can't be blamed on outside factors like inflation or Israel or the National Party's mad obsession with countering President Donald Trump's every move he wrote. No, it's the result of 15 years of New York Democrats' single-party rule and the monstrous ego of Andrew Cuomo, Benjamin, who once served in the state assembly. So basically what he's saying is, hey, look, I can't really speak for no other place. But here in New York City, according to him, it's been complete control when it comes to establishment party politics. Would you agree with that assessment, Van Cat, Ricardo?
100%.
So in that regard, I can respect what he's saying. because he's not quantifying it to like the broader scope of what a lot of these other lefty loonies are talking about, like online and shit like that. He's giving you specifics. I can respect that. And he's also understanding, hey, my specifics may not be the specifics somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is a Thought Box Live production, so I got to keep it real. It's a lot of jewelry, if you know what I mean, going on in New York City as well. If you catch my drift, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of curl sideburns in New York City. We understand this, yes? Why you left? I just got to keep it real, and a lot of them hold a lot of power. That's a fact. Now, again, I make the argument that a lot of these DSA candidates that have won primaries, I still take to the fact that the number one issue on their docket is Israel, point blank, period. You know what I mean? But again, that's something that can be debated. I'm not going to take away from the local politics, using the example of New York City. But the overall broad aspect of their ideology is anti-Israel. That's a fact. I don't care what nobody tells me. Do I think that should take priority over, what y'all want to perceive to be as affordability? No, hell no. So what's your take on what the guy said, the New York Post column? What do you take on that? And what do you take on just the overall broad aspect of what the future of DSA can be?
Well, I think that we have a situation where corporate Democrats are feeling the heat. But I also see the dangers of.
Wait a minute, Van Cat. Let me stop you. I'm sorry. Let me stop you. What is a corporate Democrat? In your opinion?
The corporate Democrats are the ones that are being paid and sponsored by business entities that are telling them what to do, how to vote, and to fall in line. Whereas you should be representing your district or your state, and you should be vocalizing what the will of the people is. That's not what's happening. They're bought and paid for, and they get that directive from their daddies. And so these corporate Democrats who have bungled and fumbled tremendously the last 7 years, and now that's why a lot of the voters are likely to step in line with this change, because they're so frustrated with their demands and the things that they would like to focus on to be met. And then also there's a danger of the Jewish community's influence controlling, again, with money, and they got lots of money. So there's just frustrations on all sides when you look at it. But this season right now, more than any, for the Democrats, it's not surprising to see this happening right now because, Democrats, even the ones that weren't supporting corporate candidates, they at least would fall in line and, say, okay, this is the right thing to do. But after you lost to a 34 count felon twice, and you really haven't been able to really capitalize on, because Trump is like the worst candidate in the history of politics, I believe. He has a lot of baggage. He doesn't talk sensibly. The only thing he really has is a base that was all in and willing to ignore and not scrutinize his deficiencies. Whereas you'll see a Democrat critique Joe Biden, no problem. It's not a big deal. You'll hear Democrats always say, if if Clinton is in the files, he should go to jail. Nobody on the Democrat side thinks like that, but on the Republican side, they're more, especially the MAGA variety, they're more likely to ignore and excuse heinous things that they can't defend, but they'll just do it. So anyway, the current condition of the Democratic Party, with those failures and with the environment we're in right now, it leaves them wide ass open for this type of stuff to happen at the moment. And are all the candidates that are being backed right now, are they like ideal? Some with controversial comments and controversial actions.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right about
that's
that.
and some problematic history on top of that. So, but because of what's happened, Joe Biden saying, "Hey, I'm only running one term. I'm just going to be handing one generation to the next. I am the bridge." That's literally what he said in multiple interviews. I watched them all. Him talking about him. One-term president. That's all I'm doing. Got greedy, did better than what he should, better than what he thought in the midterms, on his midterms, and he did very well. And he then started getting his head inflated, and we went in this different path. And I think Democrats are frustrated, and I think this is what should happen. And also the other thing too, and MD throws up the warning signs, and he's right. He's right to show those warning signs about the problematic things that can happen to the Democratic Party if they keep going in a certain direction. But this is what should happen. If you have the right doing what they're doing, and the voters not giving directly Donald Trump the reprimand and the consequences he deserved, well, why wouldn't the other side now engage in their extremes as well? That totally makes sense. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. And that's the importance of, well, we have a disengaged electorate and people are not following. This is what's going to happen. So, yeah, I wish things were better right now. I wish we had better choices. I wish we had more critical minds, and I wish people would just take an hour out of your day, find out what's going on in your politics, whether it be local or federal or whatever. Just start knowing names and start understanding what bills are and what they really mean, because that big beautiful bill is so unpopular. They're now trying to change the name. So if we could, yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, because I'm proud of what you just said, Van Cat.
Oh boy.
But let me give you a summation and you tell me if I'm correct. I just want to understand you clear. Then I'm gonna let Ricardo go. Then I'm gonna play this quick video. Basically, what you saying is you understand that because of the let's just say mundane policies of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
We are now seeing an extreme opposition to what we already have that's extreme. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, I you know what? I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I totally agree with you, Van Cat. I totally agree with you. You just surprised the hell out of me. Hey, that's all for tonight, folks. I can end the show right now. That was great.
You better stop, MD.
That was great because I was not expecting that. Go ahead, Ricardo. I'm surprised. Wow. Ricardo, you muted. Ricardo might be eating Hot Pocket. Oh, there you go.
No,
there's a Hot Pocket epidemic going on.
Hot Pocket party going on.
Yeah.
So quick story. I was in the 8th grade. We actually had a Hot Pocket party.
No. It depends on what kind of hot
ham
pocket.
and cheese, pepperoni pizza. Had all of them, man.
There's some great pork in the hot pocket. That's all I can tell you. Gotta enjoy
I
pork.
used to eat pork back then.
So, but yeah, I mean, Venkat has put his great take on it, and I don't really have that much to add to it. Just in terms of what was stated, I think it was said. It was spot on. So I will leave it with what Venkat has said, right then and there. I'm not gonna add anything else to it.
All right, there you go, man. So let me play. I want to play this real quick, and I want to get your take. I want to get. I'll let you start off with it, Cardo. I really want to get y'all take on this video. This is a interview Jake Tapper did with Dan Goldman. Dan Goldman is one of the ones that lost in New York last week, and he had
Okay.
I saw this and I felt for him, and it revealed something to me that kind of make me understand what he's saying. Let me bring this up, and I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on the other side. And I just saw it today, so I wasn't able to like edit it or nothing like that. But I'm gonna just play it. It's on X. Give me a second. Stop, man. Okay. All right. Hold on. Do y'all see my screen? I know. Okay.
There we go. Now we're seeing it.
All right. All right. Oh man, my nose.
Why do you think you lost your primary race?
Well, look, I think ultimately this really did come down to Israel-Gaza. It has taken on a massive and outsized role in democratic politics, and it's a really complicated issue. But ultimately, people are, I believe, just incredibly, incredibly horrified by all of the devastation and destruction and death that is going on in the Middle East. And I agree. But I have a different view of how to stop this Israeli government, how to rebuild peace in the Middle East. And I stuck with that. And I'm proud of the campaign that we ran.
So if you talk to people affiliated with the Lander campaign, they will tell you that, yeah, Israel was an issue, but it was more an issue of Brad Lander was more in touch with the constituents of the district who are more progressive than you, and that the constituents didn't necessarily see you as advocating for them and their needs as working families. You obviously disagree.
Well, I do disagree, and I think the proof is in the pudding. First of all, I was supported by the overwhelming majority of labor unions. I was supported by just about every single one of the 31 public housing developments in my district. I was supported by the immigrant community leaders, the Chinatown community leaders, the actual working families and the actual working class communities that are in the district. And in fact, I won those neighborhoods by 14% in an election where I got smoked by 32%.
So who didn't vote for you then?
Well, a lot of the people that didn't vote for me are not the people who I have worked so closely with to save their food stamps, to make sure their Section 8 vouchers are not taken away, to improve the conditions of their decrepit public housing, to build a triage center in my district office to help immigrant families whose loved ones are being wrongfully and illegally detained by this Trump deportation dragnet. Those are the people who I have really invested a lot of time with. And those are the people for whom this threat from the White House is existential. I think the broad majority of people who supported my opponent, Brad Lander, did so for other reasons, but that the ones who are actually impacted by this affordability crisis supported me, supported my vision, and I believe this is the pathway for the Democratic Party.
So looking at you and the man who defeated you, former comptroller Brad Lander, you both believe that Israel should exist. You both believe Israel should be a Jewish state and a democracy. The difference is you really have to go deeper than just the shallow, superficial level. You don't call what's happening in Gaza a genocide. You have a relationship with AIPAC, and I think you don't refer to what's going on in the West Bank as an occupation. Is there room in the Democratic Party for somebody who is progressive on all these other social issues having to do with the United States, but also disagrees with Brad Lander and Mayor Mamdani on these issues having to do with Israel?
You go down the sort of list of progressive policies, and I'm on board there. What has, I think, happened, and I think this is really dangerous, is that some of these, as you say, beneath the surface, very complicated, difficult issues have become buzzwords and litmus tests. And genocide in particular, as you point out, has been adopted by many as a morality test. And the real concern I have is that that has translated into a tremendous danger and fear against Jews in America. Because American Jews are now being held responsible by too many people for what the Israeli government is doing. And that is anti-Semitism. And it's becoming normalized. It's becoming more and more frequent. And both as a Jew, myself, and having many, many Jewish constituents of all types, a lot are really, really afraid because American Jews are now being dehumanized because of frustration and anger with what's going on in the Middle East. That is anti-democratic. That is anti-American. And that fundamentally flies in the face of everything the Democratic Party has always stood for.
Why do you not call it a genocide?
Well, I think, first of all, as a former prosecutor who had to present evidence to convince a jury of 12 people unanimously that all of the legal elements of a particular crime were met, I simply do not think that anybody can know for sure what happened in Gaza right now until there is an independent investigation that includes on the ground actual evidence gathering. I understand the argument, and I certainly think that there are real legitimate claims that the Israeli government may have committed war crimes. But that is very different than
Okay, all right. So that was that video, right? He made some interesting points. And I gotta be honest with you. He made some points that were essentially saying, hey, look, this came down to one thing and one thing only, and that was Israel and Gaza. And I agree with him. I agree. You can talk about all the stuff about affordability and working class. You can say that until you blue in the face. I know what this shit was about. I know what it was about. You know. And again, policy, we can always talk about policy. I ain't got no issue with talking about policy. That's cool. That's fine. If that's the reason why he lost, cool. Fine. That's no issue. Based on, if we're going to base optics on what it is, let's base optics on what it is. The optics suggest that this came down to one thing and one thing only. He's a curl sideburn person and curl sideburn bad. That's just what it is. How many videos do we see, Ricardo and Venkat? Y'all see him just like I see him. How many videos? I need to play the video of the guy out there in San Francisco just getting lamb basket at the gay pride parade. Did you see that video, Ricardo?
We all did.
That shit was insane. And he was just walking mind. And he's a congressman, just walking minding his business. A gay man himself. Thought he was going out there to enjoy the festivities.
No, you were not.
And the audacity to say, hey, look, we love all the things that you've done for the LGBT community, but damn it, Israel, Gaza, Israel, genocide.
You know,
I'm like, so what's the point of you talking about the gay stuff then? You shouldn't even say that if you're just gonna yell at me. But this is what we face, and I gotta be honest. It comes off as insincere. Now I'm not gonna put all of that on the candidates, but I'm damn sure putting it on a lot of their supporters. That's a fact. That's a fact. And what Dan Goldman said, and Dan Goldman's been a good congressman. He done did some good work. He done did progressive in all definition. That's what he is. But that's no good because APAC, Ricardo and Venkat.
Yep.
No good.
So it's one of those things because I get what he's seeing in the video, and you are right. It's basically the reason why he lost is because of the whole Palestine and Israel issue. But what we have, it's a double conundrum. So the big thing about, and Venkat did touch about it, in in the previous I guess topic of what he was talking about as well. The what I call the fat cats or the big cats in the Democratic Party. There's always been a dissension in the party. There's always been a problem. For me, this is why I can't see myself as a Democrat. I would rather identify myself as an independent because the problem is you have two sides of the party. You have the uber rich people like the Pelosi's, that she's no longer in the party, but I'm using her as an example. The people that have so much investments that are wealthy, like up there. And then you have the grassroots people that are like at the bottom of the pyramid scheme. And whenever they have these conventions, you will see it for yourself. They're always in a booth somewhere, up there, like they're in a sports event. And you can't, for whatever reason, reach them. They're always in a glass cubicle somehow in like these fantastic looking, expensive, places. And then you have the people that are if they're at the convention, music convention, like Democratic conventions, which we've seen on live TV. You have the regular people that are at the bottom looking up at them for whatever the reason. How do you encompass a party where you have two different, factions in itself? It just doesn't work. And the problem with that is that they're all APACs for whatever the reason, whether it be Democrat or Republican. What's that? The Speaker of the House, the not Speaker of the House, the one on the Democratic side, because he's annoyed me lately too.
Schumer?
No, the black one.
Oh, Hakeem Jeffries?
Yes, him. He, for whatever the reason, the other day I saw a video, he's jumping up and down. Oh, and this is about Israel, and Israel is the greatest thing. And I'm saying to myself, what are you doing? Because at this particular point, you just sound like a freaking moronic moron. Like your job is to be for the people. Why are you jumping up talking about I'm gonna put on the Jewish Hamka hat and I'm gonna be jumping up and down for Israel? This is not what this is about. At this particular juncture that we're at, where the country is going down a path where we're all paranoid and we're like literally in fear of our lives, you're over here talking about Israel, and it comes to a point where you're gonna have a lot of people now speaking up about what's going on, because again, I don't understand how it is that a lot of, and whether or not they want to believe it or they want to take that into consideration, there's a lot of Jewish people that are high recipients of is it welfare? We'll just call it for what it is, welfare in this country. They always make it look like it's the black people or the minorities or the people who are immigrants or whatever. No, my baby loves. There's a high concentration of Jewish people that are milking the system. And when we call them out on it, then you get this whole, but you're anti-Semitic. No, baby, we're not. We're going to call out facts for what it is, and we're going to show you the actual records, and we'll show you the stats and all of that. That's literally listed there. It's becoming one of those things where the party now has to literally meet this head on, because if we're going to call it for what it is, there's going to be a lot of lefty lunanism all over the place for November, because they're going to be popping up like clockwork here and there and there. And the Democratic Party has got to either face the fact that it's either you're full-on APAC or you're going to be for the people. And the people are literally rising up in dissension. They're getting annoyed, and you're getting a fraction of what you're getting. Now, Don't get me wrong. Madani was a prime example of this when he ran for his constituency in New York, and people were like, "Oh, New York's just gonna go down this path." And so far, have we seen anything negative from his side since he's been elected? I think
Nope.
he's done a
Yes.
fantastic speech with the next one, and it's still being played. So it's one of those things where I've yet, like, in terms of everything that he's done so far for New York as a whole, I think he's been doing an exemplary job, and I think that scares the fat cats a lot, because then now they can't use that as an excuse to be like, "See, we told you he was gonna." Nope, that doesn't work. So where do you pivot to at this particular
Did you
jump?
not see the report in that I put in the group chat today?
I saw it. I saw it. But
The
again,
man, the man didn't put the resources in the goddamn grid and telling folks to cut. They getting their power cut off for a time. What? And it's 110 degrees in New York City. Fuck you, Mr. Mayor. I ain't turning shit off.
it's the largest city in the U.S. I mean, you gotta compromise somewhere, people.
There ain't no compromise. Come on now, Ricardo. Come on now.
Listen. If the Republican Party is asking people to compromise in terms
Oh
of,
yeah,
like,
I forgot.
you remember
It's
that?
for the greater
For the
good.
greater
Remember that,
good.
Venkat?
You remember that speech?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what socialism is all about. The greater good. So
The greater good.
a couple of niggas got to die heat stroke in order for the grid to stay on course where it's supposed to be at.
Oh,
That's
what
right.
about with COVID when they were like, well, we're gonna have to make some sacrifices. Grandma's gonna
Mhm.
have to pass away.
You making my point. Venkat, the
Mhm.
left is just like the right as far as populism go. Same
So
thing.
you have lefty
Only
lunanism, and
a couple of niggas gotta die.
yep.
That's it. Uncle Herman Cain, come on to
Oh
the
yeah,
come on to the
nine
rally.
nine nine nine. I got my 999 plan. It's called
And
being
I
unmasked.
actually thought 999 was a great tax plan, but
Yeah,
I
but
digress.
attending super spreader events to watch Trump didn't help himself. Stupid ass.
Yep, but I mean, this is where we're at, MD and Van Cat. It's one of those things where, if the Democratic Party wants to win midterms, they're gonna have to tackle this now, because going into it, you think you've seen lefty lunanism in full force. You haven't seen it popped up yet. And don't get me mistakenly wrong here, the Republican side. The righty, because I think I'm going to coin a new term. The righty lunanism is also on your side, and it mostly, you know, permeates with the MAGA group. But there's a whole other faction that's coming about too. I don't know how these two parties are gonna work, but I think the independents, like myself, that is usually in the structured middle, that you have to appease by trying to get our attention somehow. We're stuck here going, okay, so where is the actual talking points that you're talking at
Nah,
to get a
Ricardo.
hold?
Me and you, the moderates, we cook. It's over with for us. It's over with. We between a rock and a hard place, man.
We were, but I mean, we
We
got to
done.
we got to pick though. We're going back
Yeah.
to that pivotal point where we have to
Yeah,
make a
you
decision.
got to pick between Van Cat and Black Sun. Which one? Which one? Which one you want?
I have to choose between Russia, and Van Cat doing the Marxism. It's the same. It's the damn same thing.
Well,
We
somebody put a gun to your head right now, man. You got to decide.
we the people demand more. Damn it, we the people. Again, I'm going to use the preamble of the Constitution. We the people make the decisions.
I've been rehired to the Arena Uncensored.
We need to make a stance here and do something. But Vanka, what's your stance?
Van Cat got his hot pocket, man. Oh yeah, he doing something. But yeah, I mean, you totally right though, man. Like at the end of the day,
Hello?
You went out? Did something happen?
I guess.
Damn
You
you,
hear you
Elon Musk
hear me,
and your damn
Ricardo?
sky. I can hear you.
Yeah. I mean, MD was talking and then
And then he chipped out. Elon Musk,
yeah.
I need you to stop this, damn it. I need you to behave yourself. You damn skybots.
Oh man, this is crazy. Let's give him a few more seconds, maybe. Maybe he might have to drop off or something and then come back on. He might have to. Well, okay, he just dropped. Okay, let's wait a little bit. I'm not gonna get into it because he should be right back up. Um, we see here with Beat Active 8075 because of the fact is that only the Native Americans and their descendants are the true Americans because indigenous Americans are the original inhabitants of the land, which is true. That's true. What you think, Ricardo? Ricardo, you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Because
Oh, yeah,
now they're
yeah,
trying to get me. I agree with that statement. I think we tend to overlook the natives because I don't like seeing Indians because I don't know if that's the correct term to be used.
right.
I'd rather say Aboriginals, but the native Aboriginals that have been here are the actual original inhabitants of this country. And we've literally, I mean, over time there's been a lot of commingling, meaning like there's been a lot of um, what's the word, mixing that happens, but it doesn't negate the fact that they've been here. They've been reduced in population, but we tend to overlook them. And I don't know how this whole thing with what Trump has started has, forced, because I mean, there's a lot of Native Americans that don't really carry ID or need to have a passport because they're literally the inhabitants of the land. How does that work when ICE pull them over? Or, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
there's certain things that I'm like, none of this makes sense because then it affects them. And then do you then discriminate them by saying they look more Mexican or they look more what you might call it, but they don't look like native? Like, what does a Native American look like to an ICE agent? Like, that's,
Right.
a crazy thing to even try to thought process to even process. That's crazy to me. But we tend to overlook that very important aspect that a lot of Native Americans are. There you are, Andy. Are a part, very much part of the fabric of how this country was made. So if we're talking or discussing about who the original inhabitants are, it would be the Native Americans. Then after that would be the Black free folks, which we call the what's the correct term or that we call it, the freemen,
Freeman?
freemen, and then everybody else that falls after that. So a lot of people are talking about, oh, the immigrants. Nope, nope, that's correct. Something. It's not the immigrants that created this country. There's a lot of people that came before that, but they are part of the elaborate scheme of the creation of this country. We can't say immigrants create this country. It was the people before them, and then everybody came in and then added to it. So I want to correct that because a lot of people tend to
No,
run away with that a
yeah,
lot.
the lefty loonies say otherwise. The lefty loonies say it was them.
No, we got to correct that because
Without them, it ain't. Well, technically, because without them, there is no socialism or communism. So I mean, in that aspect, maybe. And again, let's look at it. And I don't even know what y'all were talking about. My damn shit died. That's why. But
we're like, whatever to you, MD, you just disappeared up from
it,
them.
yeah, my damn shit died, man. I'm like, what? I'm just talking. I'm like, what the hell just happened? But
Yeah.
let's look at it from this aspect too. And I want to kind of like put it on Vancat. It's funny how we got this new left crowd. You know, they want to present their whole policy platform as affordability and this, that, and the third. I don't. Me personally, broad speaking, I don't think that's what it is. I think they coming in under nefarious means. That's me. I think it's Gaza and it's only about Gaza. That's just me. But for the sake of the argument, we talking about workers' rights and fair wage and Medicare for all. Fine, I ain't got no issue with that. If that's how I go down, that's how I go down. I ain't seen not one, and let me know if you have, Ricardo and Van Cat. I ain't seen not one who actually wield the hammer and the sickle. I ain't seen them. Mom Donnie come from money. This Chevalier lady come from money. All of them come from fucking money.
Yes, they do.
I heard a funny term earlier today. Limousine leftists is what they
Oh
call them.
Lord.
You know, back in the day, before the Civil War, the abolitionists, a lot of them was white and a lot of them was wealthy. Sometimes, see, this is the greatness of America.
I know
Sometimes,
you. I know you lying, MD.
yeah, sometimes when you amass so much wealth and like I said, you might be born in it. A lot of these people, Mom Donnie was born in the shit. When you can just relax and you can just come up with crazy ideas and zany shit. You ain't got nothing else to do because you're actually not working. So hey, you know what? What if I advocate for the people that actually do work, even though I don't?
Well,
I'll
you're
advocate for the
describing Trump. You're describing Trump right now.
What do I always say, Venkat? There is no such thing as left wing and right wing populism. Right, you're right. You're right. There's no such thing as it. So hey, yeah, let me advocate for workers' rights and Medicare for all and all this crazy shit, so I can co-opt the party that I say I don't like, but I really want to like tear the whole system down. Because you got Marx in your picture, Venkat. Marx is the one who said socialism is a temporary vehicle to the ultimate solution, which is communism. That's what he said. I didn't say it.
Mm.
That's what he said. So let's just tear this motherfucker down from the inside out and create it in our own image. We'll be the ones to benefit. Us well-to-do people, and we just gonna let the workers work
That
and provide everybody.
that mindset sound like Star Wars, like Darth Vader, and what's that guy? Thanos. That sounds like
Yeah, exactly. That's what Thanos
destroying it
said.
and rebuilding it up.
Yeah,
And,
that's what
and but
Thanos said. Yeah.
the thing with Thanos as a villain, right, is that he's not necessarily bad. Like in his mind, he's not bad. He's trying to do something in his mind that he thinks is good. He really legitimately feel like, hey, I can't save everybody, but if I could do half will be able to be saved, and then we just got to sacrifice the others for the greater good. And so in that sense, like he's not evil, like for the sake of classic evil.
Listen to the words of Venkat, y'all. I want you to
No,
listen.
that's the basis of the
clear.
character. That's the basis of the character, right? Is that's the whole premise. So with Thanos, there are things even people watching the movie will be like, well, he has a point here, but the thing that ultimately makes him a villain is the going overboard with certain things. So I mean, everybody's teetering and tottering between good and bad. It's just not no straightforward like I'm like the moral police or I have all my things together. It's like there's blemishes all over the goddamn place. It's just like which ideas, because people can take a good idea, exploit it for a bad idea. How many times has Trump done that where he's come up with this stuff that you're like, oh, that's a good idea. But then when you get into the weeds, no tax on tips. You're like, you hear that off the cuff. You're like, oh, I could get down with that. Until you get into the weeds of what that policy really is, reality of what that really means. And it was a bunch of bullcrap, right? You only saved on the 0.5 of the freaking overtime. So it really wasn't as
It was a
benefit.
cap to how much it was.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of people use, and this MD, you're pointing out that you think that some of these entities that are showing up in the Democratic Party right now, they have an ulterior motive, and they're using this wave of new ideas and feelings of how people are feeling about the party right now, and they're kind of saying the words to get in, and then once they get in, they're gonna unveil their true agenda, and that could be true. That definitely could be true. But if we had people that was actually paying attention to what's going on, we wouldn't even be here right now. But one thing I want to say about that guy that MD showed the footage on, I put in the chat, Jake Tapper just bitch slapped him, and it's because he said his statements about all the good things that he brought up and all the good things he was trying to push and do and whatnot. But he totally avoided like the other thing until Jake Tapper hit him with, the real reason why they probably wouldn't vote for you is because of, you didn't want to outright come and say that this was a genocide. And I got to ask myself now, why, after seeing what we've seen, this thing has been going on since what? October 7th, 2023. At this point, there's pretty much enough footage reporting that this is a freaking genocide. Why is it so hard? So, of course, you know what it is. This is politics, right? This is the game. Because his owners, as George Carlin would say, his owners that write those checks out, affiliated or are Jewish people. And he has to tap dance around those issues related to Jewish people. The bottom line is that's not what we're supposed to have in politics. We're supposed to have people that represent their constituents. And that's not represented. So he could be pissed off and mad all he want to. If Jake Tapper said, pretty much you guys align the same way with the politics and whatnot up and down. But the one glaring omission or the one glaring differential was the fact that your bitch ass can't say that a clear genocide that's happening right in front of our friggin' eyes, you can't state that verbally. So how the frig are you going to be able to deal with any of those problems if you can't even say it? So how are you going to do it? So he got his ass beat and he's like stomping around looking like a jackass. You got lost. I shouldn't even see you on your TV. We don't even supposed to pay attention to losers like that. So he could go straight to hell.
Now he a loser. That damn what he done did prior.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because
now you don't care.
Because what bothers me is his reluctance to say it, to identify and acknowledge. It's very easy here in this country where we're not faced with that particular situation to just go about our day. But, there's some people like they genuinely care. Some people really have like a good heart. They want to, of course, there are other people that are exploiting the thing. And it's just this thing to do and say on TikTok and, what about Palestine? Blah, blah. And that's corny and crappy as hell, but at least it gets the message or whatever. But, I think at some point in your life, I don't care what you're doing, at some point, you've got to man up and you've got to stand for something. You just can't continue to play. Politics, yes, it's a tricky game. It's a balancing act, right? But there's and that's what we started the show with what I went off about with the whole Supreme Court thing. I just believe there's certain moments in time that command and demand that you act. And that was one of the times. This is one of the times. And whenever I see people just bitch up and just get cowardly like that, it just turns me off immediately from them.
Carter, what you got? Damn, did I go out again? What shit is going on, my damn? Mike check.
No comments on that, MD?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mike, I don't know what the shit is. It's weird, man. I don't know what's going on. No, I was gonna let Ricardo go, but It
Hello?
goes back to the point. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I honestly don't know what's happening right now.
Elon Musk, that's what's happening.
But I get the sentiment of what you're saying.
Yep.
At the end of the day, what takes priority? It's bad for me to say that because I don't want nobody to die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No matter where you are in the world. But damn it, I'm not going to allow a foreign policy situation to overtake a domestic in any
I can
circumstance,
understand that. I understand that.
unless
That's a good point.
it directly affects our domestic policy, and it's got to affect it bad. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole Iran debacle. That's where foreign policy directly affects me
Right.
by putting gas in the tank. You know what I'm saying?
To be
Stuff
damned
like
with
that.
burnt babies.
No. See, shameful, Van Cat, shameful.
Hey, I'm
That's
doing what you doing. You twist my junk. They got me
shameful,
twist
man.
up like
Shameful. Again, I'm not saying that he tiptoed through the tulips. He clearly he did.
of course.
Talking about the whole thing with genocide. Everybody got eyes to see. Now, from a legal standpoint, I get exactly what he was saying. And yes, the main goal should be real journalists, real media being able to get into Palestine, which Israel is not allowing right now.
Exactly.
So we can see the real atrocities on what the fuck is going on. I agree with him on that. But, as the old adage says, man, it walked like a duck, it talked like a duck. No duck tonight,
No.
but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of ducks, I just put it out there because I put it out there earlier. My lame duck, I was kind of reluctant to do it, but I was gonna do it. I'm glad I didn't now. The lame duck, this was gonna be the first lame duck that was not a person, not even an inanimate object, but an idea. The lame duck tonight was gonna be the Great American State Fair.
Oh, that
But
would have been fitting. That would have been
but
fitting.
I want to see how everything gonna play out for the 4th of July.
Okay.
But but all this week, the shit has been an utter and total disgrace.
Well, Trump said on the 4th of July he's gonna have this long ass speech in the hot sun, right?
Yeah, and one of the keynote speakers is going to be Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay. All right. Oh boy. This guy. You know what's messed up is that it's the 4th of July, the 250th
Yeah,
anniversary, and he
exactly.
making it about him.
Exactly, bro. Like I said, I wasn't alive during the bicentennial. But I've heard stories about it. Just think, this is America's 250th anniversary.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a grand event that not only is supposed to span our nation's capital, but across the country. I would have
Yep.
thought it would have been some type of grand event nationwide. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm glad you just brought that up. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. I actually have a video. I might have to because I got it on my phone, but I can download it and put it in the studio real quick.
Yep.
So let's just call it a preemptive watch of the duck, because the duck is watching. The duck
Yep.
want to see exactly what's gonna happen on the 4th, and then its number may be called. Hold on, so I'm gonna double up here in a second. Let me see. I gotta go into and just download it because it's on my damn phone. Uh, oh shit! It ain't gonna let me download it. It's too long. Son of a bitch. See, that's why I don't like StreamYard, man. 'Cause they do stuff. They do stuff like that, man.
The limitations.
Yeah, that's some BS, man.
Yeah.
That's some BS. But let me see if I can find. So basically, what it was a congressman. What congressman was that? He's on the Natural Resource Committee, and he did a comprehensive analysis on the Freedom 250. He actually said that the America 250 Commission was started in 2018. It was
Yeah.
started in 2018.
Oh no,
Trump started it
2016.
in
It
it.
was
Oh,
2016.
what was it? 2016?
Yeah, it was 2016, and then
Oh,
Trump got the Freedom 250,
and he
his own
siphoned the
thing.
money.
Yes. Yes.
That's illegal. You can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
So you know the video I'm talking about then.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was a damn commission
Yep.
in his first term. I didn't know that.
That's all Trump ever does is co-opt things, right? The whole woke, how he co-opt the word woke, he co-opt the word fake news. He co-opts everything.
Well,
Switch
I
it
mean,
and turn it.
technically it would have been his though, right? Because I mean, it was in his first term. But it may
Mm.
have been independent. I don't know.
No, that was the 250 thing was not his. It was an independent group of people that did that.
Okay.
That had nothing to do with Trump. Trump saw that, and then that's when he did the Freedom 250.
Yeah. And siphon all the money out
Yeah,
the motherfucker.
yeah.
Damn. That's diabolical.
In 2016, he's not even president yet. He ran for president in 2016. He doesn't
Yeah,
become
you're
president
right.
until
See, yeah,
2017.
that I don't know why I was thinking about 2018. But I guess that's what he said, 2016. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Obama was still president. You're
exactly.
right. Damn, that's diabolical.
It is.
But that goes back. Obama derangement syndrome.
Oh. Never
Like
ending.
literally, what was the point of making something new? Like you got all the infrastructure right there with America 250. You say,
Right.
no, I'm gonna make it Freedom 250, and then I'm gonna take all the money out of it.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's all
Utterly
he ever
insane.
does. That's all he ever does.
And then put people on the board
Yep.
that was already scamming and doing nefarious things.
That's the only people he associate himself with.
I'll be damned.
If you ain't scamming, you can't be around me.
I'll just be damned. That's crazy. Well, I mean, I guess we can go and end it there, man. Like I said, I've been working all day and I didn't have time. I thought I was gonna have time, but I didn't.
Great show nonetheless. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, it was a great show, great topics. You know,
Like I said, next week we'll have a more structured show, and we're gonna break down those rulings from this week. Because like I said,
Yep.
there was other things that happened in the Supreme Court that I think we need to talk about, especially that that federal election committee case. We definitely need to talk about that because I think
Oh,
it's important.
I was
Yeah.
meaning to ask you. So Ricardo said it that the opening TFP song that's AI made, but is the Duck song a real song or is that AI
No,
made?
the duck is AI too. Yeah, it's AI.
The Duck song is a real song.
No, I made both of them with AI.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. That damn duck, that duck song be bumping.
Yeah, I made both of those with AI.
Yeah.
Man. AI is a hell of a thing, but again, there's a difference between AI for consumer consumption and AI for government consumption. There's a
Right.
big
Right.
difference. I again, when you compare it to 2008, to me, it's really not a comparison because again, with 2008, the money was solely focused on shit that they needed it for when it come to us, i.e. loans. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the same thing with AI. With AI, it's more or less we make all of our money basically with the government. Cause keep it real. It was a report on this. You know, you got like the subscriptions for like the pro versions of Grok and Gemini. Ain't nobody paying for that shit when I can use it for free. Just
Right.
honest. Now the thing that I got when I made the songs, I paid for that. But that's a specialty item. You know, just for regular hey, Gemini, I need to know this, and this. Ain't nobody paying for that shit. They're not
Right.
making money on the consumer side, is what I'm telling you.
Right.
AI makes all of their money through the government, all of it.
Which is crazy.
So, when the AI bubble bursts, it's not going to affect me. It's just not. Actually, it's going to benefit me and you because price is going to start to go down.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's where we at with that. But yeah, like I said, we'll do the Supreme Court episode next week. And once I get my chargers straight and everything, I'm gonna start. I don't know. I started streaming Fallout. I tried to do it last night, but it didn't work. So I may do it over the weekend. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
But yeah, that's where we at. You mentioned Marvel. With this shit, it's almost like Avengers Civil War. You either Team Van Cat or Team Black Sun. At this point, that's where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I told Ricardo, man, I may be rehired by the Arena Uncensored. I don't know yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Oh
I told that
boy.
nigga, man, you gonna have to do a buyout of the channel at this point. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
that's where we at, man. Cause notice Black Sun make videos now. It be about random shit.
Yes.
Black Sun don't make no political video. It's over. He know it's over.
Yes.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a done deal. It ain't nothing else to fight for.
But is he willing to admit or no?
No, that's why you talk about random shit. So hopefully,
No, but I mean,
in the hopes of
if somebody was to straight up ask him, like the last time I talked with him, I asked him and Jesse about the performance of Trump and whatnot, just to get it on tape, just to get it documented. Because stuff don't age well. Like the stuff you say, you got to think about what you say because it ain't gonna age well. And I just wanted to see if he would admit anything. And then, like, when you say give him a B,
again,
it's crazy. And it only got worse from there.
A lot of people to keep from admitting that they're wrong.
Yes.
They deflect to other shit in the hopes that you just merely forget.
Right.
Like that he ever said anything at all.
Right.
A lot of people do that shit. I'm just saying, So I'm gonna keep talking about video games and stuff with you. That's cool.
That's funny. Video games is like the big topic.
Yeah, and now that shit is going down the toilet.
Yes.
Just we just fucked up. That's just what it is. Our whole society, man, is going down the toilet.
Yeah,
bro.
every day. There's never good news. It's just always what's the next worse.
Yeah, you can't even go home and relax and sit on the couch and play the game, bro. You can't even do that no more.
Nope.
Damn. I guess in the age of 2026, I guess the best thing to do, man, for a lot of these kids anyway, is to go outside. Hell, that's what we had to do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But that shit out the window, man. Can you imagine? Like you ain't got no kids, man, but you see them. Can you imagine if all this shit just went away tomorrow, bro? A lot of these kids will be up on the suicide watch. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yep. I believe it.
They wouldn't be able to survive, bro.
They could barely survive COVID, not because of the damn virus, but because of the isolation.
The boredom, yeah.
They couldn't handle it.
They wouldn't be able to do it, bro.
Like COVID is a dream for people that are introverted and whatnot. It was great. It's friggin' great.
Hey, I'm already institutionalized in my truck. I'm already. I didn't start out an introvert, but I am now. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't bother me none. Plus, I had like a natural quarantine because I wasn't around no fucking body.
That's right.
And the highway, oh my God, bro. The best time to be a truck driver was during
Yeah,
COVID.
ain't nobody out there.
That shit was wide ass open, man. Wide ass open. I
Yeah.
was like, man, this is like heaven. Like, it was
Yep.
great.
And the gas prices had to be low because the
Exactly. The
demand.
gas, it wasn't. It was low as fuck. And
Exactly.
I had my own truck at that time, bro. I made from that time during COVID. I literally made double the money, man. Like double.
Yep.
The shit was amazing. It was amazing. Then 2022 hit,
Yep.
and it all went down to shit.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, damn, I was just living large. Now
Yep.
it's over with, and I lost my fucking. I lost my goddamn business. I'm like,
Yep.
this in the span of 2 years. This is insane. Again, but I understand what was happening. I could have turned MAGA right then and there, but I didn't do it.
Oh, you know, a lot of people would.
I didn't do it. I could have turned MAGA right then and there.
It's the easiest option.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A path of least resistance to who to blame,
Exactly.
So there's that, man. But let's get the hell out of here, man. I gotta go to sleep, get home tomorrow.
Yep.
I guess I'll see y'all next week. Like I said, we'll do the Supreme Court cases and whatever
We might have
happened.
to do a double duck on the next episode.
Yeah, I might do a double duck. Cause definitely for sure it's gonna be the Great American Fair. I mean, some of them videos I done seen, it's the only word I really can describe is sad.
Yep.
Knowing the fact that it's America's 250th birthday, and that's what's going on.
Yep.
That's what's going on.
Because as long as Trump's face is plastered to it, people are just rejecting it. Man.
Yeah, man.
Like they already said, the Trump administration people already said they're afraid of what's going to happen on the 4th of July because crowd sizes is a big thing for Trump, and they don't expect much people to be out there.
Man, Cat, I saw a video, man. It was like it was during the day, and it was like young bands performing. It was like 3 people outside. It was like 3 people. They showed the stage, then they showed the entire National Mall all the way to the monument. It was literally nobody, bro. Nobody was out there.
It's incredible because Donald Trump, he tries to imagine an alternative universe where he's not so unpopular. Like I believe he believes that people like him and adore him. I don't even believe in I don't even think MAGA likes him like that. I think he's a vessel to what they're trying to get done.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah,
And I believe, and he takes it as people are like they generally into me and love me and this and that. I don't feel like that's what this is.
Yeah. Project 2025 is way more important than Trump.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
Like Trump is just again, man, he plays a president on TV.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's all it is.
Very
that's literally
poorly.
all it is. You know what I'm saying? The people in the background, and even the people in the back, they are also stupid. I just got to be honest. The entirety. It ain't like it's some evil man with a hairless cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't no shit. Everybody's stupid. Everybody, literally.
Yeah.
Everybody's dumb. And the reason I know everybody is dumb is based on what they tried to do with what we originally talked about tonight, that birthright citizenship. It was dumb.
Yep.
It was dumb. Trump didn't come up with that shit on his own.
No, he wouldn't know how to.
That was Project 2025. But again, because we dealing with evil ass people.
Yep.
That got ulterior motive, like you said. It's quick release drug. What can we do right now?
Yep.
Quick release. The same thing with ICE and all the other shit they've been doing. Damn if it's constitutional like that throw that out the window. It ain't about that. We need a
Yeah,
quick
and
fix.
he's trying to get the Save Act passed, and he's trying to get in the way of this bill that's bipartisan. And by the
Yeah.
way, it's not going to stop it because he's at best he's delaying it like 5 days. It's still going to pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they got the supermajority on.
Right. So the antics that he's doing is just exposed. But again, that's why, it's important for voters and American citizens in general to pay attention to this stuff because he's showing you in live view how he really feels. Like he doesn't give a damn about your life, your affordable. He literally said that a few weeks ago. It's just amazing that a sitting president would actually say that on a hot
Yeah,
mic.
yeah, yeah. What did he say? Yeah, yeah. I don't care about Americans'
I don't think
financial
much about
situation. Yeah,
the American people's struggles.
yeah.
And it shows. His policies show that. He didn't have to say it, but damn, when he said it, it was like, okay, this is like goodness.
I do got another duck, but man, I really don't want to do it. You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just put it to. Have you heard the latest about Mitch McConnell? And after this, I'm
Oh yeah.
done.
Oh hell yeah. He definitely should be a
Where
duck.
where where in the world is Mitch McConnell?
They were reporting him being dead at one point.
No,
Yeah.
stop being so morbid, man.
I'm telling you, they were saying that he may likely be dead. At one point they were saying that. It's funny how, he was laughing and grinning about how he was blocking the Obama administration agenda and Obama in general himself and all this stuff.
Block Obama's appointment. He couldn't
Judges.
appoint the judge and no shit. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And now look at, and it's not even that long. It felt like just yesterday. And now here we are, 10 years later, and look what he's going to do. He's the reason that Gorsuch is in there. Amy Barrett Cohen is in there. These are all illegitimate Supreme Court justices because of what
Yeah, he
Mitch
the reason
McConnell did.
Trump in there, to be honest with
Right.
you.
Right.
Damn.
So.
Now he may be meeting his demise. Damn.
Oh yeah. I mean, my goodness. I
Said he found him
love
in the house unconscious.
when the consequences hit, ain't nothing like it. And Trump's, oh my God, Trump's consequences when that hit, it's gonna be a national holiday.
Yeah, when Trump kicked the bucket, man, he might just damn spontaneously combust just right there.
Yeah, but before he kicked the bucket, there's gonna be a series of downfalls. I'm telling you, I've always said that Melania is waiting. I think she has a signed contract that she can't divorce him until after a certain amount of time after he gets out of office. I guarantee you, she ain't gonna be there for too much longer, and everything's gonna fall. Because I think if Melania would have divorced him around the time, like say the scandal happened with
the Stormy Daniels.
Exactly. That would have just been, that might have been enough. 'Cause at that point, you can't deny that. That's something you can't you can't spin that. She's divorcing him. So there's no way you could make that up. Oh no.
If grab you by the pussy can't be a damn scandal, I don't know what else could.
I know.
So, hey, that's why they call him Teflon Don, man. That's why they call him Teflon Don.
Yeah. Well, he's looking worse. He's looking worse every day. Every time I see a picture of him, it just looks worse. The guy ain't gonna make the 4 years. I'm telling you right now, he ain't making it.
Man, what? That wish death on everybody, man. God,
I'm not saying death. I'm talking about. I think he's gonna either be impeached, or they're gonna find a way to push him out. JD Vance might have to take over. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking death. I don't want him to die right now. I need him to go through some stuff first.
You want him to be tortured first.
Oh, he got to go through some stuff.
Damn.
Accountability.
You know why they not saying nothing about McConnell? Because they don't want that seat to be contested.
Yeah.
And especially not right now. They don't. Especially
Right.
not right now. So they may do him like Weekend at Bernie's. They may just prop his ass up on the Senate floor. I'm being honest.
I can see it too.
They're gonna put some sunglasses on him and a hat. Prop his ass up. And put a gavel in his hand to do something.
Oh my goodness. I can see that happening too.
They do not want that, because again, Kentucky, that's a weird state.
Yeah.
You know, Mitch McConnell's seat been secure the last 40 fucking years.
Yep, which is ridiculous in itself. They have nothing to show for it economically. I don't know what the hell they keep doubling up on him. Like, it's ridiculous.
So yeah, they the last thing they want to do is lose another seat. That's the last thing they want to do. So yeah, pick his ass up, put him in his seat right here, put him way in the back of the Senate floor, so won't nobody notice. And somebody just say present when they call the roll. They're like, oh, that's Mitch in the back right there. Just prop him up. So,
yeah.
All right, man, let's get the fuck out of here, man. We going. Like I said, I'll see y'all next Thursday, man. We'll do a
Ricardo's still there?
Not, man, Ricardo in he in the fetal position at this point, man.
All right, peace to everybody. Have a happy 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th of July to everybody, man. Don't blow a hand off or nothing like that.
Oh my goodness, it's automatically gonna happen.
Blow a hand off. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.